Welcome back, one and all, to Dreamworks Dungeons and Dragons. I am your Dungeon Master, August Schmid, and with me, of course, is now officially our last named party for these campaigns. But we have you guys. In no particular, we have Mason as Moses, Marissa as Hunk, Lonnie as Nana, Megan as Tulio, Nick as Bob the Tomato, and Hannah as Elizabeth. Last we saw you speaking with Uriel, the angel, learning much information about the nature of this world and indeed reality as a whole, about the hosts of heaven, the gods above, and even more about paths you could choose in preventing loss of life, protection of the world, and a lot of stuff you have access to, as indeed, even though it seems that many higher powers are considering the world a lost cause, we can still fight for it, as there are ways to save it. One of the ways chosen by you guys, due to not only personal connections with Elizabeth, but a couple of you just in terms of geographical convenience, headed to far, far away to start looking into the possibility of one of these sword shards that is located near Far, Far Away Kingdom. As you made your way through the city, having the cops called on you by different magic stores, and taking down Mary Bobbins, one of the storekeepers, you figured out, Bob the Tomato, something called the Make-A-Wish Foundation had a logo lying low at the Bloody Arrow Tavern for a couple days, where a couple of you also making use of these magical items you stole from the shop to get a leg up, very literally, in the competition. It has now been these 2 days you've heard rumors of the problems and intrigue in and around Far, Far Away, and this is where we will begin tonight's session, in that, bless you, my good man, in the idea of, you have this information, more or less, that about 60 miles north of Far, Far Away is this place called the Make-A-Wish Foundation, this factory that some people are calling it, and it's more now up to you guys. How do you want to start going about looking into this?
First of all, sorry. Oh no, I was stretching. I genuinely was stretching. Can I check one more time to see if there's been any rumors about an ogre or a talking donkey? Because if I can kill like 3 birds with one stone here, I would be super excited.
Listen, we got like a great area here.
We just go for all your backstory crap.
Just
please, seriously.
check them off the list. Great, we can keep going.
It's okay, we'll do everybody else, then circle back to Egypt.
Go ahead. I'll call this a charisma check. It's kind of one of these gossip checks of like, as you guys get in pairs, slowly trying to lie low from some of the fuzz going on, in the idea then of, let's talk to people in the taverns, tavern keepers.
Okay, sorry. We have too many dice raised back.
Extra.
I have to pull up my stats, but it's not good. It's like a 3 plus whatever it would be. I don't think I heard anything.
The closest anyone knows about any ogres or talking donkeys is they know of ogres, but no one's heard of talking donkeys. But of course they say you could start going more eastward towards China, where there are more anthropomorphic races. It's kind of the best you've gotten from that so far.
Okay, no worries. I just figured I'd ask.
So. Sorry, go.
Just before we get too deep in the campaign planning, I have a logistical question about have we not long rested, or did I fail a con save or something? Because I'm at 13 hit points and I don't know why.
I haven't long rested either, and I don't
think we did.
We were about to end with a long rest, even though we were taking 2 days.
I just wanted to check and make sure it wasn't I forgot to update my character sheet.
So what I would ask is, we will start with a con saving throw from everyone for a more complete long rest.
I really hate doing that still.
Go, and let's check out how much.
Does an 8 succeed?
Does an 8 succeed?
I rolled a natural 2.
Bloody no.
Jeez, you have a
Yikes.
plus 6 con?
I'm a fighter.
Here we go. Looking then at this, here we go. Elizabeth, what did you get? Just going around the circle here.
13.
13. Bob?
Dirty 20.
Okay.
Good job, Bob.
Tulio,
17.
17.
8.
8.
7.
7.
Oh, I rolled a 3.
Dirty 20 with a nat 13.
Nat 13. All right. It sounds then Elizabeth, Hunk, and Nana, you unfortunately will fail your con saves. What I would need then is, of course, you can still take a short rest to gain back hit points or other small stuff, but you would need to
You can
spend
get hit points on a short rest?
yeah, using your hit die. The dice that you use when you level up, of like this is how many you have, you can use those. It's like a pool to like short rest heal in between battles.
Yeah, so like on D&D Beyond.
There's a short
So,
rest.
so you hit the short rest, and then you can say how much you want to roll.
If it's doing that, I can do Song of Rest, so you get an extra d6. Smart.
Yeah, but
Solid.
I don't think it gave me any.
All right.
It
And
looks like I didn't lose any hit points, which I thought I had, but D&D Beyond does not list.
Here's more variations.
as you guys then are finishing up again with these long resting, getting everything ready,
Oh yeah, and we looted Mary Bobbins. I forgot.
it's Mary Bobbins' store was the whole
We're still on level 4, right?
correct.
do I get spell slots back or not till long rest, right?
Not till long rest,
Alright.
especially for half
I
casters.
only have 1 left. Alright.
Usually only
Leveling up?
maybe.
Okay.
Wouldn't you like to
That
know,
sounds
Weather
like-
Boy?
Weather Boy.
I feel like we haven't leveled up since like pre-Egypt. Like
We
we've got to
got-
be close.
And you level up super early.
Or
That's true.
we're playing the long game here.
You did level up early, and we really haven't had any major big encounters until then. Well, or I should say, most of the encounters is you've been able to defeat them, or avoid them, or circumvent them, or which are great for a lot of things. Not always.
Read
for
about
level
not
up.
dying.
Not great for
It's
Yeah.
always great for level.
Not great when it comes to trying to farm his XP.
So what's the goal game?
Didn't somebody get a nat 20 last time and find out something about a factory or Make-A-Wish Foundation?
Yeah.
So was that where we wanted to go skulking around next?
I
Last
think
time.
so. And if they do tours,
I kind of doubt they do tours.
Yeah, I will say most
But-
factories,
but, I
unless
mean, we
it's
can
a
always
Hershey's
ask.
chocolate factory.
And if they do, it's probably a fake tour and we'll have to still sneak in when we're in there. But it might be nice to be
It would be
But at least we
led
then
into
get
that
the lay of the
get
land.
first
Yeah.
layer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I
If
guess
they
we
might,
can
with
check
something
and
called
see.
Make-A-Wish Foundation, they might have public relations enough to have a tour.
Is
A
fake tour
there
for
any
public.
sort of information board that just has a flyer for Make-A-Wish Foundation saying the basic, like advertising?
Most of the flyers, there are no advertisements for the Make-A-Wish Foundation whatsoever.
They're that big.
They're that big,
they
or
don't need to advertise.
They're either Walmart or they're sneakies that
Or
way.
they're
Yeah.
sucking the magic out of their competitors.
literally.
It's true.
Alright.
The goal then would be how fast do you want to go? Because if you travel fast,
I want to go fast.
you could make it in 2 days tops, which is a solid, just like we're going. But that would mean I will let you know it's hard to make perception checks as you go. It's
Also
easier
a
to
lot
get
more
jumped.
sus.
Versus if you take just a normal pace, you're looking at about 3 days.
We got our
Yeah.
camels all stable and everything, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's like the easy part of like at this end. You just again, you already paid to dock here for
Yeah.
however long you need. Camels can actually stay there with all the food you got. It's more that, unfortunately, you could take camels out. They would maybe stick out a little more here.
Yeah.
Also, it might be kind of nice if there was a shop that we could outfit our cart with wheels.
I was thinking
that
that
we could, like,
too.
take on and off, make it
Flood
modular.
right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was
That would be
thinking
nice.
if we did want to try and use camels anyway, we could just lean into the hey, we're from Egypt and we have heard about this Make-A-Wish Foundation. We want to check it out. Like we could just lean into the weirdness as a cover.
Except
I-
that every time we've asked questions, we've gotten in trouble.
And
Yeah,
I just
but
want to
for-
say, I don't know if it's believable for Word of It to have gotten that far out, because
Yeah.
it seems like it's very hush-hush, most people don't know.
That-
And if we did, I would say
We could
don't
swap our
use.
camels for horses.
I would also say don't use Egypt because then they could
Yeah, let's
track
swap our
why.
camels for horses then.
Alrighty. Heading to There's a lot of good places in Far, Far Away with steeds and mounts. Thankfully, camels and horses have a pretty good 1-to-1 ratio. They're both good mounts. It's more just one's more easier. Basically, for the 5 camels you have left, it would just be a simple 1 gold transference price of like, hey, if we're going to give you our horse, can you give us a gold piece each, which is better than 50 golds for a brand new horse.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's that, and they're letting you know, like, and of course, if you want to buy him back, like, we'd be fine with that. It's just,
How many?
we couldn't promise that we would keep them indefinitely.
Horses have a better carry ratio. Like they can pull more than camels can.
Camels
So
are
having
really
5
fast and
horses
really
would be
great
totally
in the
fine.
desert.
Yeah.
When you're in most other stable terrain, horses are technically about 10 feet faster, and they do much better when it comes to a carrying
Okay, so here's my question. Are there, how many camel are there, and do we each just chip them out?
Yeah.
There's 5 camels, and again, Bob the Tomato with Bobby Jr. You can kind of
Yeah,
go
on the
wherever you
shoulder.
need to.
Yeah, I think 5 horses would be plenty.
Alright, and I say Bob is not going to pay since he's not my horse.
Yeah.
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 Free ride. Indeed, everyone can mark down a gold piece, trade in a personal camel, and get a riding horse, which will cut down quite a lot of that travel pace in a good way. We're looking at then, if you ride hard and fast, you could make it within 8 hours.
Oh,
Okay.
we still
Uh,
want to take it slower because we want to be aware of our surroundings. though.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, taking maybe a day's journey, looking at a more 13, 14-hour good day, that would keep you from having any debuffs to perception and such. Heading then through, out of Far, Far Away on your steeds, the countryside opens up to you, and indeed becomes a lot more snow-filled. Being here now in the 2nd month, it is still very icy. Far, Far Away is that metropolis where they do retain a lot of heat, so you don't really notice it. But now that you're out, a lot of you do have that natural pulling in your coats a little more, feeling the wind bite quite a bit, actually, as the weather, though seemingly nice, is still not sunny, so it does feel colder being outside. Traveling through the day, I would then ask a group perception check as you travel.
Oh! I don't think your dice work. Unfortunately.
Is it that, or do my dice not like you?
Yes.
Well, that's
Oh.
my second nat 2 of the night, or a total of 5.
I got a nat 3.
I'm not excited for Nana's rolls.
You said perception, just double checking.
Yes.
11.
That's a 12.
Yes.
So I was told 7.
So that's a nat 13 or 30-21.
Dang, you have a +8 to perception? Dude,
That
that's
is a
rough.
wise tomato.
Yep.
So Bob sees all.
not number.
Oh, guys, heads up, the watermelon's kind of weird.
We love that. Thank you.
It, like,
Fair warning.
fair warning. If
Wait
some
till I
pieces
see
are
your
good,
watermelon.
it's like a 75% chance you're gonna get a good piece. So I made one.
Who got above then, just for my tally, I wasn't keeping good track, anything above a 15 perception? Just Bob?
Yes,
And it
Bob.
was a nat 13.
We
Interesting.
are screwed.
I'll give you then this choice, Bob, because you're the only one that will really notice things, apparently.
Ugh.
Would you rather be looking in the sky or on the ground?
Ah.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with on the ground because it can probably access us a lot more readily than this guy.
As you survey on the ground off into the woods, you will notice the more miles you travel out of Far, Far Away, the more people seem to get, what's the word I want to use? Angrier, much more unkind, shadier. Like, there's a lot in these, like, it's not a true wooded area, it's more that dappled tree grassland. People don't seem nice.
And I don't know how. Like, would it be a persuasion roll to try and convince someone to explain why they're not happy?
What I would say is you would have to stop someone who's on the road or like moving through, but I'd allow it if that's your choice.
Sure. Do you want me to roll
Yeah,
persuasion?
roll me persuasion. Let's see how this interaction goes.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh no.
That's a 12.
Can I like,
There's a man in a cart who's got a bunch of stuff over the tarp who sees you guys riding up and kind of keeps his head down or just to the side, but does keep side-eyeing. And he'll spot you, Bob.
Excuse me, sir. I'm
Bugger off! Whips his horse. On a 12, I will let you know, high persuasion for a lot of these travelers right now. Indeed, everyone just seems rather rude, so to speak.
okay.
You're not sure entirely why yet.
That's fair enough.
As you travel the day, passing by small townships, farms, nothing crazy on the road outside far, far away, eventually you will see that the forest grows ever thicker, still letting in the light, thankfully, but within some time, as the night draws ever nearer, there is a large building that stretches out in the woods on this main path, rising maybe a good 4 or 5 stories tall, which is quite impressive. All of you could assume you have found the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Okay.
Should we camp out somewhere close?
Is there like a front door that like looks like it's open to the public?
If you want to continue riding closer, yes, you could look for that.
Or do we long rest?
Yeah.
Or make camp.
I'm thinking in the night, yeah, we could camp and send Bob in and kind of scout around.
That's a good idea.
With Tulio, maybe because Tulio is
Because think of
stealth.
the Egypt self, that we would have been fine.
Yeah.
Julio is pretty stealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm thinking
Tulio and Bob
just
make a really
'cause
great pair.
Yes.
It's so fun
a
team.
tomato rolling in the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm in favor of camping out and having.
A stealth team.
Mhm.
Just
closer.
really at disadvantage to find Bob because talking tomatoes don't exist, right?
I'll play dead or play tomato, that's the question.
Yeah. that's
You want to test that theory?
We might have to. We'll see.
Oh no, a talking tomato. Oh no, a dragon who's turned into a human. Oh, no. There's a
I'm not
lot of weird
talking
stuff
about-
in this
I'm
world.
not a dragon turned into a human, I'm just a human.
Then you can never again say because of a dragon.
Are we humans or are we dragons?
I'm definitely a dragon.
I'm just curious, like, how you turned into a dragon. If, like, we could just true polymorph you back?
No,
That'd
we
be some
might get
insane
two
spell work.
polymorph back or wish spell would be my guess.
Would a high enough level to spell magic do it, or no? Because it's like
I really
I don't think
know.
I don't think
August
we
has
know.
never told me what spell actually turned me into a human.
How interesting that he never told us.
Well, I kind
Yeah.
of just let it. I told him
Yeah.
that this was my story,
Yeah.
and I let him do what he wanted to do. Which
I
is
love
So,
that.
I
That's
think
always
if
the
we
best.
are
It's
trying to
scary.
spell magic, it's gonna have to be an F around and find out scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah. In which case, so you could camp the night and send
Yeah.
Tulio and Bob
Okay.
in to do a preliminary check.
So
Bobby stays with us because I don't know how good he'll be at keeping his mouth shut.
Well, I want to go explore.
no,
Yeah, veto.
Bobby.
Bobby, you are a very valiant tomato, and we need you to help.
What does
us out
valiant
here.
mean?
He's
It
a
means you are
tomato,
very
right?
brave.
Oh, okay.
Bob Jr.
So why can't I go along?
It's too
Because-
dangerous.
Guard the camp with me.
Oh, how do I guard a camp?
You
So
do
sorry.
as I say.
Okay.
I will train
Yes,
you.
Nana will teach you.
Come back, Bob. There
Come
is
back,
great
Bob.
evil in the
No,
world.
he starts talking in a Russian accent.
If I see a cat, I will kill them.
I love
So, Bob, you know,
that.
the mission better go fast before Nana indoctrinates your little tomato friend.
Honestly, is it a terrible thing?
I know. There's a reason why we're like, Nana should not be in that party.
Yeah. In which case,
Yeah, I think Ella's technically
Tulio
fine
and
right now.
Bob the
Yeah.
tomato. As night falls, the stars come out, the wind whisks around like a cruel, biting whip. I would like stealth checks as you make your way to the Make-A-Wish Foundation factory.
I go in her pocket. Do I have to roll one?
I would say you would get advantage.
Fair enough. I rolled 2
like?
No.
Synthetic, alright.
Well, I got a 22.
Nice.
As you approach, crunching through the snow, making your way up into the factory, the building slowly looms over you.
She starts singing.
It is shaped like you would expect, like a very traditional British or American Industrial Revolution type factory, where you've got this main sort of building, 3 smokestacks that aren't currently outputting anything, as far as you can tell. But in and around there is a smaller building up to the front, obscured by tree line, that has maybe just 1 or 2 stories, but you think as more of an entrance. Around back, you're noticing there are 3 different large, like, loading dock areas, but they're not like semi-trucks like we would think. More of, there are wagons placed out there with, you can tell, guards at the wagons, where throughout even this evening, wagons are trundling in from other small side paths, loading up giant crates. Sometimes a couple like crates that maybe could be more manageable, like even Bob, you're like, I could probably fit that on my head. But other times 1 or 2 big crates gets placed in. That is more that backside where we could consider, again, a factory. That's the loading area. Traveling around, both of the other sides seem very blank. Solid cinder block with that ice kind of overgrown in. High up, maybe on that 4th or 5th kind of level, you do see what seem to be windows of some sort, but nothing that really hits downwards, as the ceiling seems to have been made of some sort of maybe like glass ceiling, something that could let in natural light, but as of right now, there, from what you can tell at least on the ground, does have some shutters on them kind of covering it up. Approaching then the front, you will notice that in this more smaller side building that does have a connection to the other large one, the smoke pillars and everything else, the smaller building does seem to have a grand sort of entryway. Glass wall and door built in around the stone seems to show a bit of a entry area, currently with no lights, no candle or oil lamps, but some form of desk, like a traditional receptionist area for a factory or office building. But in seeing that, you can tell though, there are 10 guards stationed outside the front doors.
Can they see if there's someone at the desk?
Hmm?
Is there someone at the desk? Sorry.
Oh yes, there's no one at the desk right now. It's very much kind of like a traditional office where like it's definitely past like office hours. It doesn't look like anyone would be there.
Thank you, sorry.
You will see, it's hard to tell on the ground, but there are guards then on the roof with that glass area. But with the 22, on 13 you're fine again, it's mostly in the pocket. It's hard to tell how many guards are up in this roof, kind of like open top level. Maybe it's even a floor of its own, because it's that like they could be moving in and around, kind of harder to gauge that distance. With all this information, would you guys like to keep investigating, moving closer, try any shenanery to do stuff?
Here's my question. You said we like saw all the crates in like the back loading area first, and you didn't say anything about guards until we got to the front. So does that mean like the back of the building isn't really guarded?
It's not that it isn't guarded, it's just that it's heavily populated.
Right.
It's the idea of maybe not that you need guards, or maybe the guards are in the wagons. It's just that like they're constantly moving out shipments of things, and so there's no real like we're gonna station a bunch of guards out here, just because like you already got people out there, and if
So
there's guards on
even
the
though it's,
roof,
like, past operating hours, they're
still doing stuff.
Okay.
Amazon warehouse.
And so that's the thing. You could take this information back to the rest of the party and like then think of stuff, or you guys could start monkeying around, shenanigans, other stuff while you're still here.
Sorry.
I mean, really what I wanted to do was just kind of get a layout before we approached, which I think we've kind of accomplished, but if you wanted to get more information, we could go closer.
I mean, I'd be down to push our luck a little.
Okay.
Push your luck a little bit.
There's a lot of information to be found at a receptionist's desk. For example, as a receptionist in real life, I keep a count of the money that goes in and out on a daily basis. that also shows where the money is going and where it's coming from. Just saying.
So what do you guys want to try?
I mean, I'm down. So
Yeah, it's that. How far away is this? Like gradually getting closer? Is this so we're close enough to try and get?
This is, I'm saying, in that like 40 foot from any of the doors, like still in a tree line, but not in any of the paths where wagons come in and out. It's that we're just watching.
how far away is the camp where these guys are set up?
Camp, I would say it's a smart, like a good like 20-minute walking distance from where you guys are, because it's that clever. Like if we're sending people in, we don't want someone or a wagon to just come by and go, hey, wait a second, like.
Yeah.
Tell me if this is like. Tell me if this would kill us. Are smokestacks like safe? Like if we tried, not like job. I would think more of like climb cautiously down. Does like would the smoke inhalation kill us, or like is there not
There's
a safe
nothing
place at the
coming out of
bottom?
it right now.
Doesn't seem to anything visible, anything like it just kind of.
It's sooty.
Yeah, it
My
could just be
only-
disgusting.
My only real worry in that case would be like if we trigger some sort of alarm, like if there's an alarm spell around the property or something.
If there's gonna be one entrance where there isn't an alarm spell,
I don't think the
it's the
smokestacks, right?
smokestacks.
Do we want to try and climb up
Yeah.
on the smokestacks?
Right. In which
That's the
case,
guy you can mark,
Bob,
right?
you don't have, thankfully, to climb, but you can either give a bardic
Yeah.
or help action to Tulio to make an athletics check to climb.
Ooh, it can't be acrobatics?
These are smokestacks. They do seem built. I mean, fun fact: no smokestack is ever built to be climbable, but especially these are like they seem to be built in that sense of, therefore, getting stuff out. They're not worried about like good handholding.
Just get like a belt and do like the Mulan.
Oh, these smokestacks, I should then clarify, at least 30 feet
Yeah.
in diameter, let alone the circumference.
I
Like,
was assuming that because it's climbing, I would be able to use acrobatics because I don't trust my athletics.
so fun fact, acrobatics really is only unless you have climbing gear at this point, because it's a material and build that is not traditionally better for climbing. You would need something to make it acrobatics.
So like a 50-foot rope.
I've seen too many TikToks of
You
like,
have a 50-foot rope.
you do have a 50-foot
It's in
rope.
my gear.
It's in every adventuring gear.
So, that could get you halfway up. You would still need length though.
Bob should have it too.
Because these smokestacks are the tallest
Every
things.
single
They're a good.
adventuring pack has a 50-foot
They're a
rope.
good 100 feet up.
Wait, I'm an idiot. I forgot I can do a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
If I were to like walk up to like an outer wall of this facility in a place that I don't think is guarded, could I Misty Step inside?
Oh, geez.
You want to do that?
Oh no, he seems
Can
too
I-
weird.
You've got options
Can I
then.
come with you if I'm in your
Yeah.
I
pocket?
think because you're being
Yeah.
carried, you
Okay.
would.
Tiny sized creatures
He's
work.
been nice
Yeah.
And I get two of them, so if we immediately get in trouble, I
And then
should be able to Misty Step
Just
away.
disappear.
I wonder if they're tracking magic though here.
Is Misty Step a spell?
Yeah.
Misstep
Yeah.
is a spell. It's not an ability, unfortunately.
And
Let me
magic
actually
item.
double check how it
Especially
works
since like
though.
there's someone around here that's sucking magic.
Here's the thing.
I don't know.
Phase Step is one of my racial abilities. As
Or
a bonus
will
action,
hers
you
work?
can teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied
Will it
space you can
work?
see. It's
Yeah,
not
that's what-
actually the Misty Step spell. It's just an ability that gives me that same range of
Oh.
motion. Like I can talk about it as Misty Step for ease, but it's not a spell.
Okay.
Alright, there you
Alright.
go.
Because I'm worried your spells won't work.
I know, me too. Oh,
And
we're not
also,
there, so did we
Because
actually-
I have
No,
the
I'm-
autumn right now,
I'm just commentating.
immediately after using Phase Step, up to 2 creatures you can see within 10 feet of you must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed. So it's that even if I vamp in and there's somebody there, I can immediately charm them.
I like that.
So
You can
I'm
charm
gonna
people?
try.
That's cool.
I'm gonna try.
Rogues, man.
Where do you want to try
Well,
going
that's
in?
just the legend out. That's
Do you
not
want
anything.
the factory, some of the blinker walls? Do you want to try maybe towards the docking area? Or do you want to try sneaking up towards the receptionist area?
I think the receptionist area would be pretty beneficial. But
My thought was like it's aimed for the factory area. We might be able to see what they're using for the production of like, is this the sword trade thing? Like, what is their production process?
yeah,
Versus I do see though we can get some good info from
we can get
receptionists.
info from reception, but I think we'd get a lot more insight as to like, is
waving for the factory area?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
Bob's in my pocket. I face stepped through the wall.
Face step through the wall, stealth checks. Bob, you can hold on to yours because I'll allow in the pocket to see if you need to give a help action or a bardic.
That's a natural 3, so.
Bardic.
Or a help action.
Oh, help action, yeah.
Because it could have been that, like, oh, if it was close enough, like, oh, I'll get a bardic.
Yeah.
Oh, much better. That's Journey 20.
You bamf through and have the immediate presence of mind to hide, as there are so many people in here. If you hadn't have, I would have given you that free. Again, you can bamf back out, but it's that level of like go in and then just hide before having to just leave.
Mm-hmm.
Let me describe what you see inside.
You guys did so good. That was awesome.
Yes.
Here we go.
So far, we're doing well.
Just keep it up.
Yeah.
Don't screw it up. Don't screw it up.
As you bamf in, the factory is in full production. Humans, half-elves, maybe some halflings, are all moving in quick time. There we go. Lots of machine parts are moving, all seemingly powered by forms of steam, maybe even magic. But the levels in here are a well-oiled machine where I will describe the basics of what you can follow. At one end of the factory floor, items are being brought in, where you can see that there's kind of like 5 different conveyor belts that are coming through a slat into probably the building that you didn't go into, right? Coming in on different items continually. Workers in, I should describe, each of the workers do have on thick leather gloves and goggles, are picking up the items, and you see that they inspect them after a few minutes and then bring out note cards and are making notes about them. Some of the items are coming in though with note cards attached. Some of these note cards have little colored dots on them. If one with a colored dot is, you see a worker will signal and maybe a supervisor comes over, takes one of these, and takes them away. As they take these items, they then go through a process where you see they are cleaned and refurbished. So swords are getting sharpened and polished. Certain other metal objects are getting rust scrubbed off. Other things made of wood or leather are getting buffed and shined. But eventually, all of these items are going towards a large central mechanism. All of these different little components are going into this machine. The machine is making no noise, nor is it outputting any sound, smell, or sights. But as the items come through the other side, as these little flaps push through, as they come through on conveyor belts, all of these items do very much seem magical. Some of them more obvious than not, where boots will go in one side and off the other side after what seems to be about a minute, maybe a minute and a half. The boots kind of seem to kick and dance on their own. Bottles of strange liquids come out with a slight glow to them. As they go through, there's a lot of other workers then who are taking the note cards that are attached with string, looking at them, taking note, and you see some of them get like check marks or stamps and then move on. Some, though, flagged, a supervisor will take them back to the beginning of the process. As each of these items are then categorized and processed, there is then a loading dock area where higher-ranking supervisors with clipboards are taking these items, putting them in very specific boxes, different demands, because you can see this is an order fulfillment center as well, where then they take these.
Literally magical Amazon.
Magical Amazon, indeed.
So, they're non-magical items that are being magical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or you can tell some of the items that are coming through with pre-assigned note cards or tabs that are taken away at the very beginning are being taken directly to a door in the mechanism, and after a little bit longer time being brought out directly. Perhaps maybe custom orders, specific things, maybe previously magical items, things of that nature. When these things are brought out, this is where I will say, if you guys want to make me a perception check, I will tell you some of the magic items here.
It could entice us to try and take them.
Perhaps.
Yep.
Gonna keep up this
Is
because
it gonna work?
We'll
It
see.
depends
We'll
on what the
see.
items are.
That's a 25.
25 from Bob.
Holy
I got a
crap.
14.
The weapons already are the big thing. Let's be honest. Seeing these weapons, knowing these are now magical weapons, maybe with that +1, +2, certain items that are brought in do seem really nice. You are seeing strange objects like scepters, wands, rings are brought in. Most of these are specifically sanctioned off where people will bring them to this giant mechanism. It looks almost like that very bulbous turnip idea, I should say, where conveyor belts going in and out, but bulbously upward in, where you then see there is a ventilation taking off to smokestacks. On a 23, I will also give you this, Bob, before some of the items. The big ventilation from the mechanism only is going to 1 stack. There was about 3 out there that you could tell. This one is only going to 1. The other things you will then see, there is some handy looking items that are coming through. Ooh, which one do I want to give you on a 23? Which one would Nick like the most? I'm trying to think this through. Just because in terms of this, let's do this. I'll give you this, Bob. You're not seeing anything that's not at least considered rare in terms of magic items. Every so often, I mean, yeah, there's like common or uncommon. You could say of like, well, if it's just a dagger going through, it's probably just being made magical, maybe a +1. There are some insane stuff. You can see bags of holding where people are bringing them out like from like more of these custom where they'll like put their arms far up into the bags, put in and take out items. There are specific belts and axes that people are going on, and you see these like product testers are putting on belts, lifting up large heavy pieces of machinery with a hand, putting them down, taking them off. But the biggest thing I will say that you can see is there is a potion bottle that you think is used for testing, like maybe a already used, where a potion bottle is being used where a worker will take a feather, dip it into a potion bottle, and the feather will kind of float then as they let go. And when other potion bottles get brought up of similar color and design, they'll put a feather in, let it go, see if it floats, and if it does, moves on. If not, it goes back. And there's a couple different stations, but that's one of the more obvious stations where it's like, wow, there's a lot of floating feathers over there, just like this constant stuff.
Imagine if we took the cones and we just put them through.
Quite possibly. Can you imagine the kind of... But also, that's what I'll say, that's money to be made.
Yeah.
There is so much money going through this place, and that's not even something you have to, like, make a check for.
Question for you.
Mhm.
Do we see like an area that maybe like the employees enter through that has the extra gloves and goggles and that kind of thing?
I will say, I'll give you that on that perception. Yeah, it's over more towards where you see some of the conveyor belts coming in. Every so often, again, even underpaid employees do have to sleep, where there are shifts going on, where eventually people will come in from towards where you could assume that receptionist table area that do seem to be wearing it.
Imagine if we put my staff through that machine.
I will say you don't know what's going on inside
Just
there.
I'm wondering
People
what-
can go in. There is like a door for people to go in. Most items are going through on conveyor belts.
You went through the machine.
through there.
Can we show how much money?
Just like
Actually, a
maybe it's I have
thought
Oppenheimer on
about
the
what's
brain,
going
so
on
just
in there.
Oh yeah.
Because since I know somebody has a potion of clairvoyance, I was looking up the rules of the spell earlier, and it says you put the sensor in a place either that's familiar to you or an unfamiliar but obvious place. And the example they gave from that was like behind a locked door, where it's like we can't get in, but we like know just behind that door. And you didn't say there's a door in the mechanism where people are like bringing in previous magic objects. I was wondering if we could like go back and describe it to, I think the hook has it, right?
yeah.
So I was like wondering if we could like go back and describe to you, here's the door, set the sensor behind that door, and
Unless
find out what's going on.
would Hunk have to see it? So would
It
If
doesn't
you
even have
describe it.
So the thing is, it doesn't even have to be Hunk who uses the potion. It can be
I know, that's what I was thinking.
But at this point, because Hunk still has it, you would at least have to go
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
at that point, it'd be like, hey, Hunk, since it's yours, do you want to do the honor, so
Or
to
do
speak?
you guys
So that was
want
one of
to
the thoughts I had.
And
I think that's a good idea.
So what I would say then for Bob and Tulia, before, because again, this is stuff you probably want to bring back to the party. Would you guys want to stay look for anything else, or should we start Faye stepping back to bring this to the party?
So, hey, if you guys can
I
find
know
the
where you were
schedules
going
for
with
when
the
shift changes
Oh,
are
yeah.
Goggles
happening,
and the.
that could
That's
be
smart.
helpful.
I think that's where Bob was going with the goggles.
My last question for now, at least, is: do we recognize any of the people here? Like, are they the people we were passing on the street, or?
I will say this, even with your high perception, if they were, you would have had to have maybe spent at least another day to notice
Gotcha.
that kind of pattern.
Okay.
Just because it's that level of, it would make a lot of sense. I mean, why would people be this way? But you're not noticing any quick faces of like, you rode past us going this way, stuff like
Would
that.
you guys be able to see how much time intervals in between shift changes?
That's a good idea.
I'll do
Is that
this then.
something
Go
we
ahead,
would
just
pay
make me
attention
one last stealth check to stealth your way through to find, shift changes, schedules,
Can
the
I
big
hold mine
stuff.
still?
It's a 21.
21, do you want to give the Bardic, or do you want to give a...
Yeah, I'll give you a Bardic.
Alright.
56?
Yeah.
That's a perfect 6, so 27.
27.
Nice.
Easily sneaking over to where employees come through. There are a couple clipboards, and you see they're duplicates. It's not like, oh, where's one? Well, somebody either brought it home with them, lost it, broke it. Like, on a 27, I'll let you know. You don't have to worry about, like, oh no, what if they see me grab it and all that stuff. Like, there's so many. Because there's a couple of, like, shifts, changes, employees, like, so that way supervisors, managers can take them and go, I know exactly who should be working where, what they should be assigned to, stuff like that. Grabbing one of these then, Tulio, you and Bob would both notice. The big stuff is, the levels are inspection, refurbishment, packaging are the three ones that, like, that is a basic employee where you're going to be on those kind of shifts. There's two other ones. You see product testing. There is something called advertisement. But then there is a last shift for, you could probably assume maybe better employees, that simply says mechanism. Like, that is what they call is, and so you could assume, like, yeah, not everyone gets to go in, like, maybe some more specific stuff. A base employee would be that, yeah, you go in. I will let you know, though, of course, everyone is basically wearing the same thing. What really only denotes supervisors are if they have a clipboard or if they're walking around and, like, talking to people. Like, everyone wears basically the same uniform of, like, quick gloves, maybe some, like, coats to protect themselves, goggles. There's no, like, true uniform in here.
Take some gloves before we dip out.
Is there like a storage closet where they're all kept or something?
Not here. That would probably be out in the other building.
Okay.
Building.
I'm on the.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys have the clipboard. You have the stuff. Tulio, heading back
Because
to the
here's
wall.
my thing, especially with face stuff and everything. I feel like theoretically, like getting inside the mechanism and grabbing something important wouldn't be the hardest thing in the world. It would be getting back out that would
Yeah.
be the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
But hopefully, again, if we potion clairvoyance, maybe that'll give us some
And
info.
I think all of this stuff looks great, but if we come back tomorrow,
Yeah.
there's going to be just as much great stuff here.
Well, and we'll probably get like advantage if we come back the same way, right? Because we've like been through here and have seen stuff.
Yeah.
You already kind of know, yeah.
Actually, if we wanted to do something risky, I'd say the riskiest easiest thing we could try is like looking for a place to like hide you so you're already here for the rest of the party. But I don't feel super comfy with that because we don't have a way of communicating, and so you could get like stranded or
true.
caught,
That's true.
and we wouldn't know.
Do you want to risk it? Do you want to leave Bob behind? See you in 8 hours, buddy. And just leaves. I will say then, making your way at least to the wall, Tulio, face stepping onto the outside, back where you were, sneaking your way back out into the forest around and heading back to your party members. All of you then would be privy to this knowledge and can then make plans for, after a long rest in the night, what plans you want to make.
Okay.
Okay.
So the potion of clairvoyance, how long
Is this 10 minutes, I think?
Trying to pull it up.
so it's the, I just want to make sure, I want to
I
try
don't
to
think
one more
this is the
time.
casting time of the spell. I don't think that's the duration of the sensory.
A potion you just have to drink as an action, thankfully.
Yeah, I just saw that it gave us 10 minutes, like it would last for 10 minutes.
So when you drink the spell, you gain the effect of the clairvoyant spell. When you drink potion, sorry. An eyeball blobs in this yellowish liquid and then vanishes when the potion's opened. Just says weight 0, cost 0, quantity 1.
I just look up the spell again, I don't remember the duration.
Yeah, I was
Because
just saying.
more focused on
I wish it said the spell.
Oh,
info
it lasts
here.
10 minutes as well.
Oh, it
Because
does?
it takes 10 minutes to cast, but
okay.
then it's another 10 minutes of time you
Okay.
get.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
But we can see how much info we can get in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that should be a
And that
decent
should help us then to make our plans.
So I think it might be a good idea maybe if we send in like a small kind of strike force.
well, do we want to do the clairvoyance first?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we can know what we're working with.
Smart. Yeah, we can figure
And
out.
if for some reason the clairvoyant spell or the potion alerted them, we'd have enough time to make
Yeah.
a run
So
for
are we
it.
planning on doing it on the machine that the items are going through?
Yeah, because whatever is making these items magical again is somehow
So where's the
part
third
of
one?
what
If
makes
that's
these items.
sucking the magic, is it sucks the magic? Because then it has to.
I'm wondering what
into
that
item.
shift is, the mechanism.
Yeah.
Wondering what that
So
is.
it's sucking it.
So yeah, I guess find out clairvoyance, figure out how it works, and then we can kind of go from there.
Yeah.
So here's the goal then.
Create an invisible
In a
sensor.
place familiar to you. Yeah, there's no range on. Oh, range of 1 mile,
Range
but
of
you're
1
good.
mile,
Yeah.
but-
Yeah, we're with
No,
it
yeah.
now.
Okay, but it does have to be a place you visited or seen before, so one of you guys will have to do it.
Well, but you can do it, Hunk, because if it can be described to
Oh, that's
you,
true.
Yep.
Or an obvious location.
all you know is, okay, mile that way, I can visualize it, and I'll be fair. I'm not going to be like, well, you wasted it. Like, I'll let you know that would probably work.
The sensor remains in place for duration, can't be attacked or otherwise interacted with. And then I choose seeing or hearing. Yes, an invisible sensor.
Yeah.
But you can swap it as you need to during that time. It's just which one would you start
I
with?
thought it could do
I'd
that.
say start with C.
As an action, you can
Yeah.
switch between seeing and hearing.
Mhm.
Creature that can see the sensor, such as a creature benefiting from invisibility or true sight, sees a luminous and tangible orb about the size of your fist, bless you. But otherwise, it should be invisible.
Mhm.
Okay,
Alrighty, Hunk, do you want to drink the potion?
if not me, someone else should, yeah.
There we
We're
go.
drinking this thing, okay? Drink.
Marissa, late at night, sitting around the campfire, you drink a potion of clairvoyance. The rest of the party has to catch you as you almost fall over, as again, your mind is suddenly a mile away, quite literally. You feel the traveling through, pushing against, as they've described this machine to you, inside the mechanism. You want to start with seeing, correct?
Yes.
As the sensor appears, you will see inside the machine a room maybe like 30 feet by 40 feet, but in that very curvature, ovaline sense that leads upwards. Inside, you will notice that there is indeed a door leading outwards. The door has a box of a specific kind of metal around it, where As people walk in, they are in a full hazmat suit. Different than what your party told you, as you could assume someone goes into the outside into this basically like metal closet, but before they walk into the machine, they are in full hazmat. Moving through, you looking around, as conveyor belts come in, items are being put into a central area. Again, there's like about 4, maybe 5 conveyor belts all bringing in that kind of drop these items. They tumble into this area. The area has a mesh bottom, and like a cooking utensil, the mesh bottom seems to have these clamps where every so often, once it seems like this kind of like platform is loaded up, a clinking sound, which you can't hear but could assume, of chains start unraveling as this thing lowers down into a form of pot. Now, the pot on the ground is large. Don't think like a cooking pot. Think like a witch's type cauldron, but like a good 5-6 feet in diameter. Like, you know, the size of me, but laying down that very large pot, where as it lowers in, there is a hazmat worker who is at the pot to then cover both lids, and you watch the pot will shake, and you realize the pot is connected to something underground. Like, it's more of a chimney stovetop itself. After maybe a minute or so, the shaking stops. A worker then opens these giant barn door type lids, and an eruption of magical sparks and steam whooshes off that is carried upwards to kind of central fan, and like you know from these two, gets carried off and away. The items then, you see the worker hooks on the hooks, it raises them back up to a level, but you watch as the hooks will then increase one length, decrease, so that the items start sliding off onto another conveyor belt, and they start slowly moving out of the mechanism.
So they just sucked all the magic out of it.
Not at all. The items got put in, and it's the equivalency of, imagine, I'll describe it like this. A bunch of dumplings were put into a pot, and after a minute, a bunch of steam and magic comes out as it looks like they are magical now. Like, whatever's in this kind of pot stove thing seems magical.
And can we see what's making it magical?
You can't see what's making it magical, but inside the mechanism, there is a heavy grated, like, sewer kind of door with a large wheel that you could spin that seems to go further underneath the factory itself.
Can I switch to hearing?
You want to switch to hearing? You switch to hearing, you'll listen in, and it's that very odd, like, imagine like suddenly closing your eyes and you can only listen.
Oof.
And suddenly all you hear is just the mechanical whirrings of items kind of plunk, 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 hitting, again, glass, metal, leather, whatever objects falling onto this little platform, chung, 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 lowering down. You hear the hooks being taken off, and with that boom, boom, the lids come down. The sound you hear can only be described as a high-pitched squeal that the mechanism seems to tone out from the outside. You guys didn't hear this, but that like inner ear, like high pitch, eventually stops. And again, you know that shaking, squealing stops. You hear heavy metal hinges creaking open, clink, clink, chunk, 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 as the process begins again.
And nobody's talking to each other over a comm.
No one seems to be talking in here. There is just those couple workers that are like, there's one kind of up on this little maybe scaffolding area of like, if items get clogged on the conveyor belts coming in or out, one dude's on the ground. Some come in or out. You will have seen this, like every so often, 1 or 2 people will come in with a specific item, like a very large scepter with a ruby encrusted on it, one carrying in this dagger with a gleaming silver blade with a snake emblazoned on it, that they'll bring them in and just place them on the metal thing itself. Like, they'll come or put them in the pot with the rest of the items, but like, they'll do it. And when the pot opens, they'll grab the item specifically, let the other items go out, as they'll personally take the item out.
Priority shipping.
Priority shipping. If you pay for it, you get the specialized treatment. So you'll be able to see all this, and it's a good 10 minutes. In the 10 minutes, it doesn't sound like anyone coming in. Again, this is like a night crew, and I'll say like, this is, the night crew. You couldn't even imagine how busy this might be during the day. Like, this is very much so like, each batch is like, maybe like 8 or 9 items that goes in. At the most, maybe there was like a 20 because there was a bunch of little daggers. Sometimes it gets really big, like you're pushing 30. But for the most part, it's very simple mechanics coming in and out, seeing these like 7 or 8 times throughout these 10 minutes going. But no one really talks to each other. It could just be that night shift mentality of like, listen, we're working the graveyard. It is 1 a.m. and I have to fucking put a dagger in a pot. Like, I'm getting a paycheck. You see, these employees are just kind of doing their job, not really making idle chit chat.
So I would think, as I relay this to my party, that we would think probably it wouldn't be worth going in there. Now we know everything we need to know. What we need to do is under to see what's going on.
Yeah.
I do have one question. Could we make like an insight or arcana check on like the pot that we're saw? Like, do we think the sword piece is like forged into it, making that like the magical bit, or do we think the magical bit is coming somewhere else and the pot's literally just holding the things? Does
I
that make
see.
sense as a question?
No, it makes no sense. Inside of, is it in the pot, under the pot,
Like,
what's
is
going
it
on?
forged into the metal? 'Cause I'm
I'll
just
let you know.
pot.
Anyone who wants to can make it. It is a DC 25 check because you only go on sight and sound and very little information.
So who has the highest insight?
Insight. So highest insight because it's not impossible, but like it
The
really
next
is in that idea of like
highest after
what
Bob,
could it
because
be?
Bob can get bardic inspiration.
Yeah.
I have a +4.
I have a +1.
I have +2. I have +3, but Marissa's speaking.
Alright, so maybe have Bob get
I
bardic
have
inspiration.
proficiency, so I could give her the help action.
There we
right?
go.
Give it a help
So
action.
you get to roll with advantage.
Okay.
Bob's
And
giving
then
a
we'll
bardic.
see if, should you roll and see if bardic can even help you, or do you have
that's
to?
true.
So if Hunk's actually seeing this,
Yeah.
would it be a lower DC?
I will say because you're making this because again, Hunk, it's that very odd like I'm seeing this and yet I'm talking to my friends in
What
a
did you
campsite.
roll?
That's a 19.
19
Can you
already
roll with advantage?
Oh, yeah.
with advantage. Yeah, let's see if it's
It's
better.
a nat 20.
It's an 8. Okay, so 19 plus my 4 is 23.
23.
So
So
we-
plus bardic, this is
Yeah.
doable. You only need a 2?
Yeah.
Well, and it's a lower DC for
Yeah.
Hunk.
Oh, that's right. Still very to be safe.
+4.
Plus 4.
So 27.
Now I'm going to bring in a bit of other stuff, what you've seen from the sword shards. Ramsey's shard was in his sword, right? But what Nana knows is that was placed into the obsidian with high level magic, right? That is stoneworking, metalworking at a level of it was only possible through, I use the term not literally, but that divine intervention of like it really wanted to be in there.
Oh, did this only happen because of who his patron is?
Probably.
Quite possibly.
Gosh.
In the sense then of this sword shard, like Marissa, what you're thinking is,
Stop getting stuff.
someone could place it into the pot, but it could also make more sense of if someone was just kind of naturally using it. Like, maybe the idea of, think of it like this. If we're talking a magic item, let's say you have a wand of fireball. If you, Hunk, cast a wand, very Harry Potter, you throw the wand out, a fireball's going to come out. You're holding it. It would take a lot of shenanery to say, could I put the wand in a mannequin's hand and use Mage Hand to move the mannequin's hand while Nana pushes the mannequin forward while Bob gives a bar so that the mannequin can throw the fireball. That's kind of that like metaphor of it would be a lot to say the shard would be baked into the pot because that would have taken so much time and effort, and it may not be constant because again, the shards are magical items themselves. More likely, it sounds like whatever's underneath this pot stovetop is something with the short
Directly hooked up, conducting that magic.
right? We're not talking about a multi-step electric stove. It's a
Right.
gas burner where there's
Whatever's
a magic
under
item
there
and
is-
it's going every
It's
so often.
giving the magic.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
And whatever it is has soaked up other magic in order to be able to do this so that they have a monopoly on magic. So,
Exactly.
Which is
So
great.
it's
Jeff
essentially
Bezos,
like a transference machine,
props to you.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So magic is
Elmer's gonna lose their mind when they hear
Am I,
there's a Jeff Bezos in this world.
am I taking the wand of fireball too literally, or are you saying there's a chance there's like a physical person stationed down there to like use?
It's
I
a
don't think it's a
possibility,
person.
but
I
it's
think
more
it's a
likely
creature.
of because of that. It's like the more steps you put into a magic item, the harder it is actually D&D wise to make it work. It really does sound like there's an item down there that when it's not outputting, it's inputting, and vice versa kind of stuff. Or creature. I mean, that's very
It's magic and
But it's more or less of the metaphor of it's probably a simple-ish kind of process. It's just tough because, like, think of all the steps to get there.
right.
So, what we're thinking is just we have to find a way into the underneath.
If it's a dragon down there, we can ride down.
Here's my only other thought, because like when Bob and I were doing our surveillance and he wanted to find like where are all the goggles and gloves and things, you said they were in like a different building from the one we went in, right?
Yes.
Do we think that building, because it
Leads
has the
underneath?
gear, would have a passageway down into whatever tunnels or situation? Because it's like whoever is doing maintenance down there has to be able to get down there or whatever?
Or do we think that wherever the guard
Because there is a maintenance,
guards are.
like, sewer hole in the mechanism, right?
Right, but we'd have to
But
get in there.
You'd have to get in there. It's a possibility. It's more of a bet, though, because, like, I can't really tell you that.
That would probably be safer than having to fight 10
I was just wondering if there's like
Yeah.
another specialized insight on that of like how likely is it?
I don't think I could allow that. That's an impossible DC, and I don't want to let you guys waste a bunch of stuff maybe trying to hit a DC 30 for that kind of
I was
knowledge.
curious why they have to wear a hazmat suit. Because if the danger is in the pot, you know what I mean?
I
If
think
it's
it's the
spilled
magical
out and
release.
stuff.
I mean, Marissa saw it. Every time they open the pot, like a bunch of sparks,
So then
It
steam.
could be magically radioactive.
So do we need to be careful when going in?
Yes.
And
So that's
might-
probably a good idea
We might
anyway
cause
to
a
start there.
magical Chernobyl.
Oh no! You said those words.
That's my exact note of like magic Chernobyl. Because like I mean this is
So
this
what I'm
is an
hearing-
artifact
magical
level
reactor.
item.
So what I'm hearing is we blow
What?
up the ground level of the factory, so then there's nobody there to stop us getting under it.
So if we cause a meltdown, it kills them all. But I will say this: Tulio and Bob, you have seen. Not everyone in this factory is a goon in some crazy like we're ready to take over the world. A lot of these people, this is a job.
Minimum
Well,
wage
that's
job. They're just
inconvenient.
doing their duty.
They're
I've
it's
been
like
teasing August all week when I'm
Labor
just gonna
job.
blow it all up, but it's that, I always knew he was gonna pull something like this where we shouldn't.
I mean, not that you should, but it's just like there is that very obvious possibility of like, dang it, not everyone here is that like, yeah,
Maybe
we're
the
going
bad
to
guys.
kill them.
When you think about scams and like phone calls like that, those people probably know that it's a scam. Do these people know that they're?
Do they care or do they have to make their paycheck?
I mean, that's very subjective, I think, at that point. And Bob, having seen them firsthand, yeah, I mean, like, they gotta know at some level, but at the same point, if that's all you have, again, in this part of the world where it is also important to point out, this factory is very much the reason Far, Far Away is such a major capital of the world. They've got all the magic right now, they've got all the power, everyone wants to trade with them. It's a solid thing where it's like, yeah, and if you're in the slums out 60 miles out and someone says, listen, you know how a normal person gets 10 gold a week? 50 gold a week, you just have to work in my
And
factory.
you gotta keep your
So
mouth
are you
shut.
saying if we successfully remove the power piece from this factory, we're going to completely fuck up the entire political and economic, like,
What do you think I would do,
state
Megan?
of this
You
kingdom
think-
right now?
you think I would do that?
You say that like it's a bad thing, but I'm actually so ready for it because it's far, far away. I'm like, yeah, let's wreck it.
Also bet that we would find if someone else has the shard, we would find out who they are like that.
Well, it's that like, because we were already hearing there's like stuff going down politically and everybody's fighting, so I'm like, yeah, let's just watch it.
Yeah.
Let's be cats and knock something down just to watch everything fall into chaos.
Yeah, we just want to see the world
War
burn.
crime
Yeah.
queen. War crime
We clearly got told by an angel that we want the end of the world
It's
to
true.
happen.
Very carefully tip it over. I like it. I like it. I'm not
All right,
disagreeing.
guys.
I'm just saying.
So here's the goal. I
Yeah,
think
sure
you
no.
guys still wanted to take a long rest.
Yes.
Yes.
Especially for some that failed.
Did
Yep,
Kim,
I would like
before
Yeah.
the 10 minutes were over, did I notice anybody notice me?
Not that you could tell.
Did I notice anyone noticing?
What I would ask then is con saves for everyone.
Did they notice you noticed you? Then you noticed that?
Oh, jeez. I'm
Yeah.
They don't know. They
Alright,
know. They know.
Constitution saving throw. Let's see. Please be kind.
Okay.
It's the
There we go. 23.
What'd you get?
Yay!
Alrighty.
Where's my Thumbelina dice?
Yay!
Here we go.
Yeah, I gotta roll one.
Got one.
Here we go.
Level of exhaustion.
Moses, what did you get?
I got 12.
That's a barely a success for you. Hunk, what did you get?
On a nap one, I got 5.
Hunk, you will have a point of exhaustion.
I thought you had to miss 2 nights before you get.
I
Oh,
did.
did
It's
miss
the
2
last
nights.
one. Let it trigger.
Nana, what did you get?
23.
That is a success. Tulio?
2.
Tulio, that is
Ever
a
put us in
failure.
place where 23 is a failure, I'm gonna be scared.
Well, it's an
Um,
increase in DC, so if you don't fail, then you might.
Bob, what'd you get?
13.
Bob, that is a success.
That's all.
Elizabeth, what did you get?
Not 20.
That is a success.
That's nice.
So, wow, and everyone's got different DCs. It's getting harder to track these,
Why do we have different DCs?
depending on when you fail, when you don't.
Oh.
Because if you do fail, it does reset a certain amount.
But if
it-
you keep succeeding, the DC gets lower.
It gets harder, but it is possible, of course, to keep failing. Like now, Bob and Hunk, you both learned it's like it is possible.
Depends on your
Do
level.
we have dreams?
You will have horrible nightmares. Nothing terribly important yet.
I was about to say, nobody pulls a Minareth and gets a useful ring.
Do you want to try to use the ring? No.
I already
worse.
failed. Could I
I'm
roll
just
for
saying.
usefulness?
You don't want to do
Oh?
that. Minareth shouldn't have either.
No,
do
I
not-
was well worth.
Do you
Just
want to
saying.
try to get a useful dream, Tulio?
I feel like you're threatening me.
I feel like if you don't, it might be like an automatic kind of exhaustion.
Oh, it was for Minareth. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you do or you don't.
Yeah, I basically was like, can I rolled like a 24 or something, like I succeeded, but I'm like, I want to get something useful from this. Can I just choose to fail in exchange for information? He's like, you want to? And he's like, you'll get a point of exhaustion. He's like, okay. So,
Waking up then the next day. What is the plan to deal with this factory? I will say you guys can make a plan, so I'm going to use the restroom just real briefly.
good.
We need a code name for this plan.
Code
BP.
Chernobyl.
Oh, that works too.
I don't know
I
if
was thinking
Chernobyl, like,
BP.
that might be too meta because I don't know if it
Like the oil
exists.
I
spill.
know.
Dreamworks.
What would you want to name it after the oil spill?
Well,
Why would you want to name it after Chernobyl?
Technically, it's a gas
Technically-
station, not an oil spill.
Operation.
because you exist, so Russia exists.
Oh, that's true.
But
Oh
it's
my
not what-
gosh.
But it's not what's the time period. Do we have nuclear energy? I don't know if Chernobyl specifically
I mean, Nana happened in present day.
That's
Russia
true.
Kind of thing. She's just old enough. She was around.
I
the
think we
USSR.
just proved that Chernobyl is canon in Dreamworks.
Oh my god. So yes, I can say it doesn't magic Chernobyl.
Sold.
I
Operation,
don't like this, but I love it. If that makes sense.
Yes.
no, Operation Comrade. We take them from the capitalist height of the world to communism.
I love that.
There's no place like home.
You guys are weird.
We just realized Nana knows that Chernobyl is a
We
big
are
August.
toppling we are toppling the capitalist regime.
It's Operation Comrade.
You're
We
welcome.
proved that Chernobyl
friends
is
with
canon in
them.
Dreamworks because nada exists in present day Russia.
Not happening.
No. Because Russia is not a
Alright,
true
you said
country nation. It's more of a collection of cities. Maybe held
And one of
together.
those cities was Chernobyl.
No.
Does anyone know what Chernobyl means in Russian?
No, because we've never had nuclear power in any DreamWorks campaigns.
I'm gonna look it up because I'm really curious now.
Is there nukes DreamWorks question mark? And then you get put on watch
Your
list.
FBI guy's like, what the crap?
Chernobyl means
Food
It means
recipes,
black
weather for
meat.
tomorrow.
it means black weed. I would not have expected
Black
that.
weed.
Because
Yeah,
it
I
was
feel like
more or
weather
less
doesn't feel
named
fair.
after what happened after.
Oh, what was named after?
Or, well, a little bit before, but then it became that colloquial, like, yeah, like, this makes sense, right?
I feel like I missed something historically important.
You do you not know about the Chernobyl disaster?
It's like an
huge meltdown.
That was one of the.
Yeah,
Because
Chino
I
was
know
just
which
like
one
where it
he
was.
is.
The one with the massive elephant's foot thing.
Like so many people. Well, and the big thing is because Russia tried to cover it up so
Yeah.
much,
Right.
and people were just dying by the
Yeah.
thousands because it's not like
And weird
they didn't know, so people would
fires.
drive by or head on in. It's like
And it's just putting out that much radiation.
Instead of closing it down.
Mhm.
And they did. I mean, I remember hearing.
Um,
Some guys
anyway,
say that was the
Project Comrade, sure, Operation Comrade. But what's the idea?
Are we still thinking we want to like sneak into the shed where they have the protective gear?
That might be a good idea.
For that, whether or not we
Yeah,
find
same
a
thing,
passage
just keep
there, we
going.
at least want to like
I
steal
think-
some gear. Is that what we're thinking?
Correct me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong, that's separate from the gloves and goggles. That's like you enter the machine, there's
am
the
Gene.
hazmats, and then you actually go into the
Oh, you're right. It was like the little decontamination chambers.
I
So
Yeah.
we might not find
wild
the hazmat
idea.
suits.
What?
What if we get jobs?
I was thinking about that, but I wasn't sure like,
Actually,
what
I
the
wanna
hiring
work
process is.
somebody applies. I bet that a lot of us could get hired. And those of us that could get hired,
I have pretty good
Could help.
deception, and you can probably hide in my pocket. Or again, we'll go like
or
on
I just have a plus 10 or something
I
to
feel
my
like that's
charisma.
more. That's a safer
So-
option of sneaking in versus like, getting caught. Because I'd rather get fired than get put into jail.
Yeah.
Okay, also though, if we get hired and are caught obviously sneaking around trying to find the thing, they're probably just gonna kill us. I don't think.
Yeah.
But either way, I feel like it's less likely because like the work.
it will be
there,
very suspicious to have 1, 2, 3, 4,
which I
5.
get really disappointed.
So I think it might be a good idea for maybe Elizabeth, Tulio, and Hunk to apply for jobs.
How good is Hunk at deception?
How good are you at deception?
Can you lie, Hunk?
Not to throw our paladin under the bus. I guess paladins generally have good charisma.
Best one.
+1.
Just best one.
I feel like Hunk will get caught,
I
right?
have
Should I
A
apply
plus
for a
3.
job? I've got a plus 3 as well.
I feel like you're so distinctive though, like especially if one of those first shopkeepers we talked to saw the
Yeah.
tomato. Like I think you talked to the first one before. we went
That's
to the
true. I'm
first
also
one. Yeah, no.
thinking like those of us who don't get jobs, we could take up career as highwaymen and just sabotage the shipments as they're coming out, going to the shops. I
Well,
like
like,
that.
how much of
The-
a
I
the
am well
magic
suited for this.
objects.
how much of a long game are we playing here? Because I feel like it would take years to get to the level where we'd be allowed to like find out the deeper workings.
That's
But I don't
Still
think
be that
we-
whoever
I
gets
don't
hired.
think we need to get to that level. We just need to work there for a week to get the lay of the land.
yeah, work in that department.
Or just even at all, you could sneak around a little. You just might get caught, but you could play it off if you work there versus.
Like, oh, I got lost.
Hey,
Yes.
we didn't
So
notice
especially as a new
anyone
employee.
going home
Yes.
for the night or coming in for the day, did we?
And
Meaning that they live here in the factory
Yeah,
as well.
so they might not
okay, my other thought is if we did
be doing outside hours.
schedule as well, which would be much easier.
Question is,
Or
are
we
they
could just-
accepting outside hires or are they picking outside hires? If they don't leave and come back.
There's no
Oh,
way until we can go into reception and ask for an application. I
That's
don't think
true.
that would be like a terrible idea.
We
You
tried
might
that
wanna
first
not have
because
people
my other suggestion
either.
was going to be crazy, shenanery, risky. So definitely we'll try that one first if we're going up
Do
to
you
reception.
have a
Like-
disguise kit
No.
or a hat?
Oh, you might
But so
think.
here's my thought. If we like figure out like where people go when the shifts end and everything, I stay hidden and weaponize my face up for when one of the higher up managers like passes me and charm them for a minute to
Ooh.
get them to tell us how to get into the
Down there,
tunnels.
yes.
But we'd have to like go so fast and like
Knock
nobody
them
get
out
that.
after.
Because I'm
That
pretty
would
sure
not be
it works like normal charmed rules where like after a minute they know.
Yeah, they know.
So I would say that's a good plan. B
C or D.
C or D.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also don't think all of us should go to reception because that's just too
Nope.
sketchy.
Yeah.
I think it was me and the tomato who were the most distinctive.
Yeah.
So
Well, and there was the pink hair thing, right?
Yeah,
With
I
a
can
hat.
share.
Right.
And I could wear a hat.
It's true.
So
I think we could probably make some kind of natural dye.
That would wash out after.
Probably could.
I have time.
If I
And
can
this
take
is
a
the-
long rest, I can take proficiency.
This is a long game we're playing at this point.
Does somebody have a disguise code or something?
yeah,
I
but Bob
do,
is
but
tiny.
it's like we infiltrate Amazon at ground level.
Literally.
Slowly work
This
our
is
way up and
exactly what we're
assassinate
Can I do a
Bezos.
survival or a nature check or
I
something
feel
for
like we
something
shouldn't say
called
that on air
Flutter?
even in metaphor.
A
Yeah.
it does have a natural, like, dark
Yeah.
dying thing.
Yeah, make a nature check. I think
Nature
that's a
check?
very solid.
Oh
You
shoot,
want to
it's
bump
a
it
plus
in.
0. I might have a higher nature check.
For
I got a 16.
a quick dye job.
Yeah,
I
16.
mean, Moses worked with sheep and stuff. Dye in the wool.
Yeah, I mean,
Probably.
the key is though, for sheep, you're dyeing it after it's
It's
cut. You
true.
don't want to like ruin someone's hair.
Yeah.
On a 16 with the idea, it's like you have stuff that might last, but you don't know if it will stick. It's that like, oh, it could last like, well, for example, undisturbed, yeah, like this could probably take a good couple days. But again, usually you're not just like not touching your hair, nor the elements, nor natural. Just again, what happens if for any reason Elizabeth like brushes her hair, or someone puts goggles on you, and like what if it rubs off? That could look sketchy. So it's like it's a possibility for a quick quote unquote dye job of the hair, but it wouldn't be a permanent good solution.
I don't need a permanent solution because I like my hair color.
Elizabeth, how do you feel about becoming bald?
I think what he's saying is if it isn't permanent, it could just rub off.
Yeah.
Because what if you're in the, you know, you're
Uh-huh.
talking to someone, you brush your hair, and suddenly your hand is just like coated in soot, and someone's like, "What's that?" Like that's.
Only to cover it. If we learn that we can get the job, then we can go back to this county and get something more permanent. But I think just to do an application, if I cover my hair, it's fine.
I don't like that August keeps making rules. It's making me so
Well,
nervous.
especially because
We're
nobody's
taking
going in
so
and
long.
out.
Can I be watching the highway as they're talking about this job?
Perception check.
Nobody's going in and out, so I don't know that going out and dying is a good option, but that's okay.
27.
Currently, there's no one here.
In the sky.
In the sky, on the ground, everything seems pretty open. Again, I will say, you guys didn't just plant yourselves right next to the road. It's not like on the road, let's go in a ways, like, so we're not going to be found. Everything
Here's
seems pretty
also
open right now.
The like ADHD sort of related train of thought that I just had. I don't. If we did want to do a more quicker, sneakier thing, I don't think the hazmat suits are going to be that important because especially if this is more like radiation level, it's like prolonged a little bit of exposure over time is the
Yeah.
problem. I think if we like went in and only got like one blast, we'd
Well,
probably be
it
fine.
depends on how close you get to it because for the elephant's foot, when people were within about 6 feet, they immediately started passing out.
But that's like when it explodes or something goes wrong,
Nope,
right?
that was even a few years later. I don't know why, but I watched a very long YouTube video all about Chernobyl.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
So,
So was that after the explosion or while the plant was still running?
That was
no,
after.
it was after the explosion. It was
So
like
it's that,
45
I think
years
that's
later.
what makes the difference.
Yeah.
Of like while it's still running, obviously you want
It's not
protection from, like,
decaying
the long-term
radioactive
explosion,
material.
But like so while it's
That's
normally in
uncontained.
use, like
That's fair,
being
that's
close
fair.
once, I don't think will last any hurt. At least by D&D logic, where we
We
So-
might
can
become superheroes.
Yeah,
Bob,
you can
the
try
superhero. I
No,
can't
that.
see
The
it.
radioactive
Ah,
tomato.
Here's my one request. If something goes wrong and we get blown up in
Oh
some sort of explosion,
gosh.
can we make a luck roll for each of us to see which of us like survive with powers and which
And
of
it's
us
so
Yeah, roll a D100. Get 100 and you get superpowers. Guess what? That's not how radiation works most of the time.
So you're
This
sitting
is
there's a chance.
You're telling me Dreamworks has real world logic?
August.
No. This is, what I would say though is, I think these are smart ideas. Who wants to go then to the reception area?
I'm happy to go get
I've got
applications.
Yeah, Elizabeth.
Should I get more than one? I'll see how many they can give me. Just say that my friends that are wanting to apply, or should I just get one? This is
Are you going in by yourself?
I was going by myself.
Because
I don't think you
What's
should
your-
because you are a dragon.
What's your-
You have never gotten a job before in your life.
And what's your deception bonus? Okay.
who has the
Will,
height?
what's your deception?
I think I've got like a 7. Let me
Oh
double check it.
I would say Tulio should definitely be one of them.
Also, if something bad happens, August, can we please play radioactive?
Yeah, I've got like,
Oh no!
That's my
The
request.
nuclear meltdown of a century. Hey, let's play Radioactive by Imagine
It's
Dragons.
just my
So-
Imagine the dragon who once was.
What if I get so close to radiation that I turn back into a dragon?
can we get a electric dragon?
Listen, I just need to put this out. I feel like for my personal PSA, in real life, don't play around with radioactive material, guys.
Yeah, true.
Just
But
making
if you're a
sure.
fantasy creature, you got a chance.
Maybe I'll get my wings back. I'll be a human dragon. That would
Do
be
you
so
guys,
cool.
So subtle.
Nana?
Switcheries.
I didn't hear if you want to go just because you and Bob seemed more specific, but it sounds like Tulio and Elizabeth going in talking to reception.
Yeah.
I think so.
How's your deception?
Plus one.
Let's do.
It's two.
He has a +3 though, right? You said it was a 3.
Yeah.
So maybe Moses instead
I
of
don't have to
Elizabeth?
go. I just.
It's just,
someone
yeah.
had the idea. That's all. I don't care either way.
It's up to you guys.
I'd say the ones with the highest deception.
So instead Moses and
Yes,
Julio.
Tulio.
We'll be at the highway with Bob.
Sounds good.
I keep thinking we can't do
Just 'cause
Moses.
I hate
Wait, we're
for
not
you
in
to,
Egypt
like,
anymore.
go
I
in there
know,
for
right?
vacation, we're like, yeah, right.
Well, plus I have to be fair.
Yeah.
So.
In which
I'm
case,
so worried about this.
Tulio and Moses are going in.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can walk on up. As you approach, you see there's not as many guards outside. Just like
Do we
4.
have a good cover story of like, is there when we were like going through town? Is it like, oh, we like live on such and such a street, we got laid off at like this place or whatever? Like,
That's a deception check. There's no way to plan that out.
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, well, sorry, let me rephrase. Yes, you can plan it out. I'm not going to let you guys spend 15 minutes making a cover story because if you roll a deception check and roll a 1, it would be all for nothing. So,
I
like,
just didn't want it to be
yeah.
that like,
Why are
like
they there?
because you don't have this planned
Yeah.
out, you auto fail the deception check.
Oh, not at
How
all.
old are you guys?
I don't know.
You could be going in for a job to support your family, period. You wouldn't have to have some kind of weird crazy backstory.
Right, it's just the like, we don't want to come in and obviously we're new in town and need a new job. Like that's so, like again, the new people in town were sketchy, checking out
I'm
bad
new
jobs.
in town.
So I just don't want to obviously be from not
things
here.
about
Okay, roll for a street, and then I say just go for it. If you're worried about needing to look at an address.
Well, no, August just said we're fine with that.
Yeah,
I'll just all check.
Yeah, for age-wise, I think most at this point is probably like mid-40s.
Okay.
Tulio, you're still about that 20s area.
Haha! See, I'll never die.
I'll never.
We're love for my red shirt night.
That feels like another foreshadowing moment in real
Like, I'm
life.
so worried because I didn't rest last night, so.
As you guys approach the
And
reception,
because I did magic around here, so if they've got my magical signature,
You
it's all
see-
pretty, like, so many things could go wrong badly.
Can I give Moses a bardic before he goes?
gotcha.
That's smart.
There is a dude behind the desk, seems to be a bit more elven, that as you come closer, the guards will see you approaching and will open the doors for you. Kind of like footmen. 2 of them by the doors will open them up. As you enter into this brightly lit room, you see the man, he's got a little name placard that just says Jerome, looks up. Welcome to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. How can I help you, gentlemen?
Hey, we were just wondering if you were hiring right now.
Hiring for...
Any position.
Well, so I'm gonna make a pure luck check. We've got most factory positions filled. We do not currently have a lot of other management or outreach positions available right now. So, do you have cards could leave with you?
Do we have what?
Cards,
Oh.
names, just like, I don't know, like, I mean, we try to hire pretty frequently, but nothing terribly at the moment.
Here's my question. How do people usually have contact information in a fantasy setting? Because it's not like nobody has
Yeah.
phones.
I know.
Sending stuff.
So like, what would even be the normal?
Well, because
Like,
they have
send a
record of you
messenger to
guys.
the address.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably address.
Names and addresses, because then again, if you come back and they can check a record and go, oh yeah, you did come here at one point.
Okay. Can we roll for like residential addresses that we would have like seen?
Make me
down?
deception checks.
All right.
Hey, yo! Not bad.
22.
22?
19.
Write down, I would say, probably fake names, fake addresses. Just that natural. Scrawl them out. You see Jerome just, alright.
Number 6, Red Ave.
Thank you so much.
Did you write yourself as an
Excellent.
Really?
Well, can I interest you? Are you guys in need of buying any magical items while you're here? Are you from one of the nearby towns?
I feel like we should get a job before buying anything, but thanks for the offer, sir.
If you have a catalog, we'd love to take one and maybe come back later.
Mostly everything here works pretty just like on the go. So,
Alright.
right. Thank you. You see, he goes back to writing into a book that he was kind of working on.
Thank you so
As
much.
we leave, could we have like made a perception of like, did we see what he was writing in this book?
Yeah, go make me a perception.
He's not a very good receptionist. He sounds so tired.
Okay.
You can know.
I
I was just about to say, yeah, with her job,
It's a 16.
I got a 15.
Did
15.
you already use the bardic
Not
fingers?
yet.
It seems like a general, shall we say, inventory list where he seems to have been marking down probably from last night of like things that came out or in, marking down like just a general schedule of the warehouse, it looked like. Nothing crazy important, unfortunately.
Okay, well, we're still on the grounds. Maybe possibly want to try taking a look around?
It's also broad daylight though.
It is. That's the problem.
Daylight.
I would just, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys head back and you can let them know you don't seem to be taking job applications.
Well, it's worth a try.
Yeah. Operation Comrade it
Can
is.
I do a weird insight, but it's that you rolled the luck check after he asked us like what job we were looking for and we said anything. Was that like a weird test of like if we'd said something specific, was there something like only if you know about it, but like
Yeah, make
general
me an
public
insight
would say,
check.
no, stay out?
That's a good question.
Ooh, I rolled really badly though.
Can I make that same insight?
Sure.
I gave you a bardic too.
But that's a 5. Okay. Total of 6.
Honestly, he did seem like it was just that general, like, I can look, but yeah, it doesn't seem like we're hiring right now. Didn't seem anything sketchy about it.
Okay.
There were several things I'm like, that's not normal for a receptionist, but I'm like, Nana's never been a receptionist, so we can't even be like, oh no, this.
But it's also that like even if it was, we still wouldn't have known what to ask for.
Right.
Yeah.
It is odd that he didn't have any paper applications ready, because even when you're not hiring, you always have applications ready just in case someone
Did you
comes
guys
along.
ask for an application, or did you ask if they were hiring?
We asked if they were hiring. Because like, why would they give us an application if they're not?
Because businesses do. It's weird.
I do all the time. And then you just wait and pray that they can actually. Anyway,
You guys can try the next day if you don't
I
trust
don't
our
know.
approach.
I feel like.
No, there's just weird things about the receptionist. I'm like,
Okay, here's my question, Mommy. Is it because it's August playing a receptionist, or is it
that's the
because-
thing. I don't know. I don't know how well August knows that kind of position. That's the frustrating thing.
Not that we don't trust you, August.
August has never been a receptionist. The closest he got was when he was stuck making phone calls for M.A.W.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So he knows what being in a sketchy MLM is like.
Yeah.
Can I say that on air?
He's up to something.
The opinions of our players are not subject to.
Anyways.
Oh, excellent. Perfect. Everyone make me a constitution saving throw at disadvantage as gas erupts around you.
What?
Oh, you don't think there was alarm spells everywhere? I just had to get all my stuff
Out
ready.
of the factory?
Oh no, but when you teleport inside, doesn't matter that, yeah, it's not a spell, you teleported inside. I had so much going on.
I rolled so bad.
I was wondering when you were gonna do something.
I just had to make the proper, because again, I act fair, so they were slowly getting stuff ready.
30-20.
No, I will say, what you guys did didn't affect it at all, in a good way. It wasn't like, now we got him. It was just a more natural, ever since last night, it was, we're tracking you back, we're seeing, here we go. Did anyone, let's see, we'll start actually, Elizabeth, what did you get?
15.
15, Bob?
8.
8.
You should know my first roll was a 16.
Ooh.
And then I rolled a fucking 5.
I know. Nice. Hunk, what'd you get?
Was it a disadvantage?
At
Disadvantage.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Wait,
No.
disadvantage for
At
everyone?
disadvantage, I got a dirty 20.
Oh,
30,
disadvantage
20?
for everyone,
Oh,
not just those who
16
didn't rest?
Yeah.
but I got
Everyone
this
disadvantage.
Sorry, I missed that.
Wait, Hunk, you got it at disadvantage?
Yes.
Oh
I
my
rolled a 16
gosh.
and an 18, and I've got a +4.
All right.
My second roll was.
It would have been great if I could use my second roll, but no, I got a 12 total.
12 total.
I got an 18.
Hunk passes. Hunk, can you roll initiative as
August
all your...
Bardic. That's a 2.
You both pass. You can roll initiative.
Alright.
I'll let you know, this is going to be fun.
You. Oh, I missed. Well,
I got a 7.
12, 7, yeah, on a synthetic 15, as tons of little glass vials erupt at your feet, smoke filling, much of the party goes down, including Bobby Jr. I did roll for him.
If I were to give myself a +5, would that make me pass?
What was your total though?
12.
Do I have a reaction before you're done?
Because this was a surprise thing, they did not pass it.
I got an 18 roll the 2.
Nice.
As you are both human beings, this is going to help me, stepping out from behind a
I have
tree.
4.
I'm as a mark.
But,
I have
yeah,
no idea. I have a
there's-
shenanery question.
no shenanery, they got you.
I feel like it's a valid question.
Go for it.
So is this something like, say, the Zixlo where it's like there's a damage threshold equivalent of like HP to
It's not a
an
damage.
automatic effect?
Moses, stepping around, creature's gonna make an insight check on you. Alright, sees you, sees Hunk, he's gonna click something as you see low brim hat, very fedora-esque, steps out, thick black cloak.
Cat.
Not a cat.
No.
Pulls out a simple metal flute, clicks it, click, click. Hunk, I need you to make me a...
Metal.
Don't roll. I'm so sorry. That's it. I just rolled a 31. Hunk, you are charmed. Can you please attack Moses for me?
Wait, what if she rolls a nat 20?
Roll me a nat 20 at disadvantage with your sleep there. That's my problem.
Rolled a nat 20 at
That's
disadvantage.
that's true. 2 nat 20s could happen. I should say to be fair.
That's how you got Flint in Disney.
That is how.
That was
2 nat
so
20s. It's always possible.
Okay.
1 in 400. Here we go.
Am I at a disadvantage to attack?
Disadvantage to save against what he just did to you. It's a. I rolled a synthetic 31.
But that's the point of
All of
exhaustion,
my
they got
actions-
advantage on everything, right?
I
Yes.
am exhausted, so roll to attack at disadvantage, right?
Yes.
So 9 plus 6 is 15. Is that what you know this?
No, it does not.
Praise the heavens.
This man.
What condition would you say the rest of them are under? Like paralyzed, poisoned?
Paralyzed.
Okay.
Is it paralyzed?
Paralyzed. Sleep will be coming soon. It just
Hang
starts
on.
with out.
Wait, let me double check. No, I'm not, but I wanted to double check that to get spell, so it's just charged.
Yep. Moses, you have the next highest initiative as Hunk. That was kind of taking a swing. That doesn't take your turn, Hunk. That was just he did charm you.
Sleep is different from paralysis.
Okay.
And also we don't know this magic. Like, it's probably weird out here.
Moses, what would you like to try?
I'm gonna go over to Elizabeth, Lesser Restoration.
Alrighty. Elizabeth, you will roll initiative once we get through this. In that, because you could start right up in fresh initiative. Lesser Restoration. Elizabeth, you're up. Hunk.
Also bonus action range.
Bonus action rage. Awesome. Hunk.
Yes.
At the end of your turn, you can make me another save. It's now just the base DC. So this shouldn't. Yes, no, disadvantage because of that point of exhaustion. Yikes. It's a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. At disadvantage.
Disadvantage. You are still charmed. At the top of the initiative before he goes, Elizabeth, will you roll me for initiative? What was that? 13. So you act just after this masked person. Doesn't like that you two are both up, so he's going to do something. Whips out a...
Even though I'm charmed?
Well, because you're charmed, he's fine with that. The problem is Moses and Elizabeth.
Oh,
Elizabeth,
okay.
you're now awake on the ground. Moses just ran over.
I get you.
He is going to pull out a crossbow. Yikes, Moses, that is a 22 to hit.
That'll hit.
Can you make me a Constitution saving throw? And please take an additional 12, half to 6 points of piercing damage.
Okay. Con saving throw. That is 15.
That will fail
Hold on.
the effect of what he has.
I'm realizing, was this paralysis by way of poison?
This is not by way of poison,
Okay.
unfortunately. This is a magical sort of
That's
paralysis that soon will induce sleep. It's a very specific thing this creature has.
That's fine.
That is, Moses, you take 6 points and will hit the ground paralyzed. Same kind of condition. Elizabeth, though, oh no, he has multi-attack. I'm so sorry. He's gonna try to attack you because it's that you just got up. Yikes, does a 19 synthetically hit. Can you make me another con save and take 12 points of damage as well? I roll the same thing both times. You're good.
I don't like the Pied Piper.
That's a
10 will fail, Elizabeth. You wake up, Moses brings you up. You're asleep. Hunk,
10. Wait, I'm back down.
back down again.
Am I paralyzed or just asleep?
Paralyzed. The sleep is setting in. Hunk, you have a chance. Please roll me a wisdom save at disadvantage with your charmed condition.
Roll twice.
Okay. He is then going to walk over, and you will see Hunk, though charmed. The figure leans up the hat. You just see the eyes of a man wearing this thick coat. He brings out a bottle and will just place it under your nose.
Can you just chloroform me?
Chloroform you.
Gosh, freaking
As you all feel the paralysis and then further sleep set in.
Is this chloroform or is it magic?
It is magical chloroform. I will not tell you what it is called.
I just want to point out I can't be put to sleep with magic, so if it's like magical, I don't think it makes me sleep. I can pretend to sleep, but I just need to know.
Then, because you want to be semantic, he's going to hit you down to 0 hit points over and over until you go down then.
Oh.
He's not like, he doesn't fuck around. It's that level of, oh, you're not going to sleep? Well, I'll kill you to knock you out
Well,
then.
it's like if I know that that's supposed to put me to sleep, I can like pretend to sleep. Like I just, as a player, wanted to understand mechanically what was happening.
Do you want to make me a deception check versus his insight to see if you're awake?
Sure.
Beat a DC 22. I do apologize. You guys are going up against one of my worst assassins / bounty
Why
hunters.
do we keep hitting the worst, August?
Well, this guy
2
is.
places in a row.
Pied Piper is one of the best at what he does.
Alright, that's fair.
That's a 21.
21.
Shit. Oh.
So he will. It's the equivalent
Do you
of
have
if he knows.
your, guidance takes an action.
Guidance takes an
Sorry,
action.
I'm assuming that's what
And
you're
per- it's because it's that level of he's making sure everyone's out. And again, it's not lethal, but it's that he'll just hit you to make sure you go down. All of you will then wake up.
I know
Which is terrifying to have to watch us have to be paralyzed and watch.
But we're gonna see who's in charge.
You are, yeah, that is kind
I
of.
mean, that's not a terrible
This is
thing.
giving me flashbacks to the Percy Jackson campaign when freaking
bad.
Medusa came out. Ugh.
All of you will wake up. You're not sure totally how much time is, but you will notice that you are bound in some sort of metal cuffs, very much kind of like those square cuffs. Bob, you are in a metal cage.
Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah, I'm bored. Yeah, don't worry, it's not like cuffs. Yes, you and Bobby Jr. are in a small metal cage together. All of you are sitting in some form of very cushy armchair, and you're cuffed in front of you. It's not like your hands are behind, but you're realizing your hands have these strong metal cuffs, and your legs simply have rope around them. All of you would feel that, like, kind of rough backache, and you think you were dragged. Again, Pied Piper can take people out, but then he still has to drag people back. As you all wake up, you are inside a room. Black walls with kind of a gray trim around the edges, a metal door, heavy lock on it. But the 5 chairs you are in are very nice, kind of that like blue velvet cushion, with Bob on a small little sitting table. As you awaken, no one is immediately in the room. You all just are able to awaken. I will say it's more as you each awaken, calling out, kind of trying to like nuzzle, what is the word? Poke each other to kind of like wake you up with your elbows. Nudge, thank you. I'm like, there's a word.
You said nestle, and I was like, oh,
Nestle.
nudge.
We're just gonna nestle into each other. We're just gonna cuddle session. And wait to see what happens. All right, gang.
Our faces, like the nose.
We make the
best of our situation.
Oh, dang it, guys. Huddle in. Bring it in.
Pipe Piper
Party
walks
that
in, it's just a
cuddles
cuddle
together.
puddle.
Let me get in on that.
I may not have heard, but are we bound with our hands in front or behind us?
In front.
Okay, cool.
But to a soft chair.
Into a soft, that like,
And the
you're in
ropes.
front, your ropes are tied up with the leg. You
Are we
actually could think
standing
like
or are we in the soft chairs?
in the soft chairs.
Okay, that's so confused.
I know.
Okay, so I guess it's hard pot or rumble.
Walking in, you see initially Jerome, the receptionist, who does have a little bit of like, shall we call it, I don't want to say pleasant shock, but that like, weird. Like, sees you two. Welcome to the Make-A-Wish Foundation prison. You'll be meeting with our CEO shortly. Can I get you guys any drinks, food while you're here?
Yes,
Yes, I can. I've just been sent to take quick orders.
I
What
love
you got?
some vodka.
Let's see, we can do vodka.
Sweet.
What is the name of your boss?
CEO, they'll introduce themselves.
Can I get a menu, please?
We don't have a menu. Most of our stuff is made to order with our chef.
You got sushi?
Yeah, we can get sushi.
I'll take some sushi.
You have like a strength potion?
I have been advised I cannot offer you anything that does seem like magic, so no.
How am I supposed to drink with my hands on this?
We have guards that will bring the food in and help feed you guys.
So feed me the sushi.
I will not complain at food.
I can bring a general sushi platter for the table.
Yes.
I don't
We'll take
trust-
Did I
roasted
take
lamb
2
and
of those?
hummus.
Because I'm gonna need one for me.
Lamb hummus, sushi, vodka, and we can bring in just a general, like, we've got to find meat selection imported.
Ice water.
Ice water, of course, yeah, of course. Alright, I'll be back in just a few minutes. True to his word,
Hold on the
Harry.
tomato.
you hear the door chung-chung as when Jerome comes back. The guards very much do seem now to be doubling as chefs. Each of them will bring over the food, feed it to you guys. The sushi, lamb, hummus.
I do not partake. I am
Okay.
scared.
Okay. Would anyone like to? Again, they will be
I
able
have
to.
advantage against poison.
They did bring vodka. They will give you some vodka. Bob, some ice water. Almost not in the patronizing, like a gerbil kind of container, but it's like, hey, through the metal slots of this like half-inch bar, like bring him in so like you can drink. They.
Well, it's also, I don't think it's been that long since for us. Like,
You don't feel terribly hungry.
So as a soldier,
It's a-
you eat when you have food.
Yeah. Jerome will get anything. He's like, alrighty. Yep. CEO just had to finish up quick call meeting. But schedule in for just a bit as the guards will start taking away some of the lamb hummus. It actually, again, very good. Everything you can tell this was fresh sushi somehow. Like, I mean, you didn't see any like freshwater, saltwater waters nearby. Jerome kind of gives you, thanks so much. If you just want to hang tight, closes his little book, walks out the door. Minutes pass, you hear General Dares walking ever so often on the other side. But soon you will hear clack, 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 click, clack of something coming down stone hallway. Choo choo, choo choo, choo choo. The door swings open.
you guys could wait 5 seconds.
Look, 5 seconds. I swear I'm talking. Like,
It's been like 10 minutes of constant guessing. I'm like, guys, he's gonna tell us, I promise.
in a smart pinstripe suit, large bouffant hair, horn-rimmed glasses, with a pen / maybe a wand tucked behind the ear, you see a woman enter in with wings at her back. Oh, you must be the intruders from last night. Of course, let's have a chat. She kind of does a hand gesture. 2 guards walk in. This beautiful, like, kind of wooden throne / chairs brought in. She sits down. Okay. Well, let's get talking. Who are you guys? What are you doing in my factory?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. It was just a dare. My friend said I couldn't see.
Bullshit. Say another word and you'll lose your liver, hun.
She doesn't get me to make an insight or anything.
Please take me 2 points of poison as you feel your liver not disappear, but very close as she kind of wicks the wand at you and does a quick, like, and you feel that, like, internal pain as she goes,
Well, what am I at? Because last I heard it was already
Oh.
0. Am I down again?
you're back at full again.
Okay.
Like, they knock you to full, but you did have enough time of that, like, unfortunate long rest.
Did I
Do I make a con
clear
save
my
and get a long
exhaustion?
rest?
Not unfortunate because again, long rest, but it wasn't restful.
Okay,
It's very
that's
hard to
right.
explain that, if that makes sense.
I have a question.
It says, no, answers first. Who sent you?
The Archangel Uriel.
Ourselves?
Well, now we've got two different answers. You sent yourselves and
We accepted a
Archangel.
quest from someone, but we want to require.
was this the Uriel person mentioned?
Yes.
Yes.
Ah, yes. It's why we invest in magic protections. Okay, so you were sent by your, I assume, of course, trying to undo my operations.
Not really.
We're trying to understand your operation.
I just wanted to not get smitten by the angel.
That's
Yes.
fair.
Yes.
More than anything right now, we just like to understand your operation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very interesting. How
We're not
in
trying to
the
sabotage.
world do you put magic back in?
Oh, and I must be just some stupid bimbo who's going to tell you everything because you asked so nicely. Let's keep talking. You were sent by an angel. Am I right in assuming you came to take down my operations and to receive some of the magic we have going on?
You can still treat me.
Oh, we will.
Okay. No, we were trying to sit down and try to understand.
I mean,
Interesting.
there was a understand so we can, but like we said, we're more scared of an angel than
so deeply.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
The angel kind of really scares us. We didn't want to make him worried.
So no one's gonna miss 6 unmarked graves on the side of the road is what I'm hearing. Or maybe we could start giving me some information that will keep you alive. Is that okay?
What do you want to know?
Well, I want to know, who is this Uriel? I hear Archangel, that's not enough. I need some better information. That's totally fine. I get that, like, wait, what do we know? What do we not know? Because you see, this lady is that, like, this is a harsh CEO of, like, I am going to get what I want kind of vibe. It's hard to, like, persuasion, deception right now because it's that, like, she is coming with a purpose. It is that level of...
Oh, sorry.
No, please. Sorry, question.
You look big and magical. How much do you know about apparently 4 giant gods that apparently exist?
Ooh, are you talking about... she's going to make a history check because she has a little bit of knowledge. Oh, yeah. I've heard them called the Horsemen, though. Is that correct?
I think those are different.
Tomato. As she kind of, like, jokes looking at
I'll
Bob.
laugh at her joke.
You laugh. You see Bob and Jr. That's great, ma'am. He's laughing very genuinely. Like, all right, that's a good joke. But
I'll
you...
pat him on the back.
It's good, buddy. But you see, she goes, but no, high power beings, right, controlling the world.
Yeah, so archangels, I don't know their stat blocks or anything, but they're little magical beings that work for one of those.
Right. No, I think I know what you're talking about here. I've heard things about that. Let's be real. I'm still here. If they were that big of a problem, they would have done something. But if, as you
They're
say...
working up to doing
Yeah,
something.
we're the something.
Alright, so you were sent by beings that shouldn't exist to mess up what I have going on here. Now listen, I am running the most profitable company in the world here, guys. I am giving people what they can't get on their own. And I really don't like intruders in my... This is a family environment here. All our workers are family. What if whichever of you was popping in and out magically last night hurt one of our workers? That's like hurting my family.
Did we?
I don't want to take the chance, though. Listen. You're trying to tell me that there is some big thing out there. Well, let me put your minds at ease. The powerhouse here is me. I'm in charge, and I have a business to run. So let's do this. Let's give a little tit for tat now. I'm running a business. What do you want to know? You want some information? Is that why you came?
Yeah.
It sounds like it would be profitable for us if we were to be adopted into your family, and then maybe we could avoid the.
You
not
see,
so happy
though, usually children that want to be adopted don't sneak into a family's household the night before and only offer that when they're caught.
Well, we didn't
they're being threatened by someone, right? And desperate for safety?
Yes.
Oh, but I don't like when people offer things out of desperation. You know, simple business, right? I would rather have had a more honest conversation.
Wait. Have you? Did you see the starfall thing happening? And like,
I'll say
Same.
passively, you said the look in her eye. She did. You said that right thing there of that, like,
So we're actually just kind of looking for those pieces of the star.
oh, you want my metal piece. Oh,
Like that's what we're actually here for.
right. Oh, you're here on business for the piece?
We know where you can get another one. Double the
That's
operation.
so fucking smart. That was.
She'll say, and now we can talk. Hello. She runs a finger under your chin. So you know of another metal piece. I had sent out spies, but I've yet to hear of this.
Oh, did you send them to Egypt by chance?
Oh, is that what that dickwad who's all floating around on the river? Is that how he's doing it?
Yeah.
We can all agree about that.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, have me.
So, Pharaoh Ramses has a bit of metal to him. All right. That's pretty far away, though. But now that prompts a question for me. How do you know about Egypt? You expect me that you were somewhere in Egypt and then came here? Okay.
He's from Egypt.
So,
We met the pharaoh. He killed him like 17 times.
Why would you say that?
oh.
I think Tulio said that. Why would you say that?
So
She has no
you
social skills.
But
are
Tulio says that out loud, so now you
important.
know you need to stop talking.
You're important, aren't you, my boy? Oh. Well, let's get to you in a moment. Okay. So we've got some metal shards that, if you're well aware, are gonna shape the destiny of the world, and you know where one is. That's a nice little bartering chip. Okay, you're learning. I like it. You're doing good. But I don't like Egypt. Let's sweeten the pot a little bit, right? What else you got?
Well, I thought he was gonna tell her about the one in the dark forest, and this is just Megan to Hannah because I think she forgot by the way she's like showing that.
Well, I just
But like
figured
now I
that-
don't want to give her two.
I just
Yeah,
figured
no.
that there's a big bad. They could find a big bad and maybe.
I don't think she's gonna go for it though, because she's not dumb.
She's more. You see, right now, this is. Yeah, she's like trying to like. Let's see what you guys know before I make decisions, kind of
I'm a
vibe.
second away from trying to like sleight of hand my way out of the ropes on my legs so I can try and like garrote her with my handcuffs or something. Because like this is not. Negotiations are not going well, guys.
This is not
Want to
gonna
give
go.
her some info like El Dorado or something?
Yes, that very minute gave me like throw her a bone.
I don't think that would help us.
So.
Wait.
we've got-
There's Ramses also has like that crystal bit that we were.
The Tear of Nephthys?
Yes.
Because that's how the city's floating.
Oh,
the
yeah.
star piece is
Yeah.
unrelated
Yeah.
to that.
And he's,
Yeah,
I
you
don't
can
know
tell
if
her
you've
about
been
that
to
too.
Egypt recently, but he's magicking the whole city to make it magic proof, which could put a damper on your operations.
That's true.
Interesting. A magic-proof city. Why didn't I think of that? Clever.
That was
So he's found a way around that. Okay.
You control all the magic and far away.
Now, I don't think that'll be an issue. You see, I'll give you a little bit. You know that the Make-A-Wish Foundation is a foundation. I'm the CEO. We do have a CFO and a CTO. I could talk to our CTO, see what he can do about an anti-magic city. That could be helpful. Sword shard. Ooh, that is good. You're good.
I have a question. If you make your city anti-magic, what happens to your company?
Oh, no. I don't think you understand. If a city can become anti-magical, what if I could make my city magical? Pay for the experience of living somewhere with magic.
The magic kingdom.
Wrong universe.
She she is going to come over Moses. See, she whips out her little wand pen. She's going to tap it on your forehead. I do need a wisdom saving throw real quick.
Oh Lord.
I'm sorry. I want to officially say I'm sorry.
If she really is doing something intense with Moses, I think I will try and sleight of hand.
All right.
Okay, that's a 7.
17.
Yes.
That hits the DC. She's going to start getting surface thoughts as she casts detect thoughts on it.
Oh.
She has access to that.
I feel like detect thoughts is
So
involved enough that
what
I might
do
get away
you
with.
know about the Pharaoh Ramses?
Oh boy.
What would your first thought be? And you can be as honest or even twist it how you want. Because again, only surface level. She's not really able to dig deep. But she's here. What do you think Moses would think of when he hears of Pharaoh Ramses?
Probably death.
Well,
Like, not even kidding. If nothing else, that's traumatizing. I don't care how
I'm gonna say
tough you are.
basically in terms of Prince of Egypt, she's gonna see like some of the saddest parts of the movie. Like
Mm.
Moses leaving Egypt.
Yeah, the true trauma, which is natural in human
Yeah,
beings,
and
right?
then like Moses trying to like comfort Ramses after the
a lot of those.
firstborn.
You see, she goes, "Oh, now that is. Oh, I'm so sorry, hon. That's really connected to your own brother. Well, I bet this man could trade a pretty price, maybe even a shard of metal for you, wouldn't he?"
No, it's not worth that much.
You say that, she goes,
No, that was
"Oh, it's just
second.
you, okay." And to be
Yeah,
fair, as a
that's
DM, I will kind of take whatever people say in this kind of roleplay moment.
That's
To,
kind of funny.
he's good.
Julia was thinking it, but only Megan would say it, because while she was doing detect thoughts, I wanted to try to sleight of hand my legs.
Go for a sleight of hand. Yeah, it's a harder DC, but no disadvantage right now. It's just
while
that, like,
she was in the middle of casting detect
like,
thoughts on
okay,
it,
can
it
I,
would be
1
a
foot's around the leg, but,
better.
yeah, can I stretch it out?
Not when I roll low. That's a 16.
16. I will say, you don't think you have it now, but you are getting that, like, if I can get enough time, I could probably stretch out 1 foot, then get the other. It's just one of those, like, kind of ropes where you're like, okay, it's not impossible for my feet, it's just kind of stuck.
Point of inspiration could help.
Maybe. I rolled like a natural 9, so if I roll better.
What is the structure of the chairs we're in?
The structure, these are fine chairs where you see they've got that, like, oak chair base with the upholstery being that, like, blue velvet in around buttoned in.
So it's not like an arm that we're strapped to an arm of the chair.
No, you're actually, it is more that sitting. It's that if you try to stand up, though, you'll fall on your face because your legs are tied together and to the chair leg of that, like, and you would go down. It's not uncomfy here, but it is that, like, we're obviously chained in here with the locked door kind of vibe. You see, she'll move away from you, Moses. Okay. But you all, now you're interesting. You're one of the little veggies.
Oh, I'm a big veggie.
You're right, you are. I will say, you're delicious. You gotta know. Honestly, some of my favorite caprese salads right now include you guys.
Gosh.
You're great. The rest of you, though, interesting. Elf? No, you're not elven. Human. Looks at hung. Orcish.
I, Megan, want to roll an insight on August telling me I'm not elven when my race D&D is Eladrin elf?
Yeah,
Go
and
for it.
I'm dwarf, so can I do an
What
insight check as
is
well?
my... I guess just using my character. You said insight?
Yeah.
That's a 19.
She's got the glasses on. She's looking at you,
I
getting
got
some
a 17.
info.
What does that even mean?
That magically what you could count as. She's looking at your magicness.
Does that mean while her race is elf?
Your magic is more attuned to more of a human type of magic. Like, to put it very simply, I will let you know, none of these stats will ever become, like, actual things you have to worry about in the game. I have this divide system of, there's a difference between an elf casting mage hand and a human casting mage hand.
I know.
That level of a dwarf that creates something magical or a human that creates something magical, it's how you use your magic. It's never going to be an actual stat you'll have to worry about,
That's super cool.
but it is that level of, like, there's a difference between elven made swords and I am an elf that made the sword, but I've lived with humans my whole life, so my magic's different. Looking at everything, she will then, of course, looking at for Elizabeth, just, okay, Draconic. Did you come from the Vikings?
Although if you know an ogre named Shrek, I would love to talk to you about it.
No. You know Shrek?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Boy.
What a pain in my side. I loved mounting his head to my wall. I'll introduce you.
You killed him?
Yeah. You don't like him? Oh, I like you. Don't worry.
The donkey. Did you meet the donkey?
No. Did he have a donkey with you? Where'd you meet him?
At my cave.
Yeah, he showed up and was really starting to get in the way of my operations, drawing on about a princess, trying to get stuff. So I sent off my piper, had him beheaded.
So what happened to the princess?
Couldn't find her, that's the problem. Listen,
she's the dragon.
I just really need my sweet baby boy to have a royal heir soon, so...
Sweet baby boy.
Oh, no, okay, he's not a Nepo baby. My Charming earned everything in that kingdom. He made his connections, and I just supplied him lots of magic items and money. What any mom should.
So you kept that connection. I was wondering if you would or not, because that's Hannah talking.
Yeah. But you see, she seems pleased. It's like, oh, you didn't like the ogre too? Yeah, he was annoying to me. I killed him.
The ogre was very nasty.
Oh, good.
I
So,
will tell you though, he doesn't steal money. He just steals people.
yeah, that's kind of what he was doing to me. Had to kill him. All right. Well, listen, guys.
I mean, at least we have
I'm
to.
gonna go make
At least
some
we're done with
calls.
Elizabeth every single single encounter going, all I care about is Shrek. At least we're done with that.
I do just need a bit of time. I gotta go call your brother. Gotta start the negotiations.
Was I able to make like subsequent checks?
I'm about to make
Okay,
late
I was
makes.
just curious.
Yes, I'm doing it like how long a roleplay of like turns of rounds. So let's just look through. We got okay. We're gonna off you. We're probably gonna. You're a big money maker here, Moses. I'm excited. Let's see. We got some hardy workers. Could probably send you work for me. I don't know.
Lunch.
I am craving a BLT.
Oh, will little Bob Jr. try to defend you at all?
He doesn't yet know what that means.
I don't think
He doesn't know what a BLT is or a Caprese salad. This dude has just been like,
he just thinks he's gonna get a nice lunch.
Oh, Bob Jr.
Question for you.
Yeah.
guys. Could I send him to, like, could I dismiss him?
you can't technically, again, familiar stats are a bit skewed here in the sense of he is still very corporeal. Because again, eventually he
That's
could
what I
start getting
figured,
beat.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wanted to check though.
Yes, no, thank you for checking in. Looking guys, she says, okay, well, give me some time. Gonna make a conference call. I'm a busy woman leading the most powerful foundation. So, hang tight. All will be good. And if you try to escape, I will relish in killing you. Again, I've been waiting so long to really hurt someone. She kind of stands up, brushes, suit in and out. Okay. As she goes to the door, two things will happen very quickly. She goes to the door, she will take her little wand, and you watch easily enough, two of you got a high enough passive, same with Elizabeth, I think. You would notice as she leaves, she taps the door on her way out, and you do hear then, chung 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 chung, like a couple locks, so to speak, something magically locked.
Arcane lock is a thing.
As that happens as well,
I mean, I don't mind. Okay, I mind being locked.
Moses, you are about to hear something in your head. Tell everyone to close their eyes now.
Oh yeah! Sorry.
Close your eyes.
Someone's getting smitten!
You all close your eyes and feel a bright, bright light enter the room. As it disappears, you see a elven man, maybe half elven. Hair is now shocking white, bright eyes. Hello, it's me, Gabriel. Uriel sent.
Another vessel.
Oh,
He
thank you.
did yoink another vessel.
Oh.
He's walking over. I
But
cannot
they
stay
still
for
probably get
long.
burned up.
As he is going to start going over, he grabs. You won't take the fire damage, but melts the cuffs off of each of you, grabbing them. The sword piece must be found soon. Things are moving fast according to the enemy.
Sir.
Can we? I don't know what like angel stats are, but because we know it's somewhere under the facility, does he have like Superman extra vision? Can he like tell us how to get down to it?
Do you want him to?
Yes.
If he can, like,
Yeah,
I would
he'll use his
absolutely
240-foot true sight.
I would love that.
He's gonna look around. The object is located underneath a large mechanical vessel. You'll find it in between 4 inches of iron lead. There does seem to be a locked safe on it leading upwards into a pipe.
Can you see what the object is?
It is a piece of the sword.
So, like, was he able to give us enough directions of like where do we find the pipe, or like?
Oh, would you like him to look for others? Now here's what I'll do
Or
then.
just the like of if he can see
How
the route
we-
down.
Yes, I'm going to make a d6. Let's see how much Gabriel can do before
Yeah.
Give him
this.
the bardic.
Give him a bardic to this? Yeah!
Can I guidance the angel?
Yeah! Like, how many rounds checks can you
Yeah.
give the angel? Okay, here we go. Bardic and guidance. So here we go. That's 3, 5, and then 1. So 9. He can do 9 things before
Okay.
just gone. He is going to then look for one of his things. There's a specific hallway route leading from a staircase up to what I could assume to be the fairy's office. She's heading that way right now. So he will give you, it's like, if you go after her up the flight stairs to this kind of like top office of this side building, she's got a personal door that leads directly down and in. So it's the 2 ways in are right in the middle of the factory or her office kind of
So,
vibe.
right in the middle of the factory, because we need to avoid her.
She's scary.
Here's the.
Timer is now to 8 things he can do left.
Here, August.
Is-
Is all our stuff in the room with us?
Not currently.
Can you show us first, please?
Or can he summon our stuff?
Would you like him some stuff? That will cost 2 big things, because he will go get it and then come back.
Could we have him bring our stuff to us, then could he teleport us all down to
Oh.
the sword piece?
The magic of the sword prevents teleportation
Can he
close to
turn
it.
us as a party invisible?
You could. Wait. Now you're making me actually pull up the true stats, so I have to remember. Because fun fact, yes, you guys got captured. I wasn't worried because I'm like, let me tell you, you got too close with the plot. They need you to get this. Angels are gonna help you out in this sense. Here we go.
Could he also charge up my staff?
A seraphim. I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
First, I need to see. I have to remember. Can he? Where's my seraph? There we go. So. Wow. Yeah, they're grody stats. Oh, but they're in a vessel right now. That does limit a few things.
Also,
Well, for better or for worse.
this is Gabriel.
Yes.
Is Gabriel the like Bob's dad, or is that
He's the
Gabriel?
man in the moon.
He's the man in the moon. Gabriel is the messenger.
The fishing pole.
He's the one that will be talking to the parties
Yeah,
as this
so
campaign
I
goes
love
on
this
more
part.
and more. He does not have, or at least Gabriel does not have invisibility in any form, unfortunately. Even to the extent of giving it to you.
Because I was just thinking if we had to sneak around or hide, like that would have been so helpful.
In which case, though, he can head off and grab your items and come back. It will cost 2 things of him basically teleporting in and out.
Yeah, 6 left.
6 left. Gabriel will
Can he
jump in.
put everyone in the facility to sleep?
Oh.
That may cost a lot of magic, and I would have to inquire of heaven.
You say that
Wait,
we
so he said we couldn't do this, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I do not have the powers of possession
You
to.
said that the sword piece prohibits transportation. Does it only prohibit transportation to or from the sword piece?
Yes. Most
Okay.
sword pieces are powerful. This is what has kept us from simply
Does
taking
True
them.
Sight able to see the weaknesses and vulnerabilities of the fairy group?
Yeah.
Fortunately, that is not what True Sight
Okay, I
can do.
didn't know.
That's a very specific
I
thing.
have
that
no idea what True Sight is. So.
he basically can see. He'll even say, "Is like, I'm sorry, Paladin, but I can only do so much with my
Could
eyes."
he just put her to sleep?
Oh.
So then, like, we could go in her office and she wouldn't wake up?
Sneak past her.
It is a possibility, though the fairy has been soaking in much of the artifact's power. She might be able to resist even my might. I can try.
If you
And
try
I will say,
and
fun
fail,
fact, even
will
though
you be
I'm
a
talking
winner?
to you, most of these sentences end with him turning to Moses. I will point out. Like, I'm doing because, like, yeah, talking to you guys, but he'll always be like, I can try. Like, in that, do you allow it? Almost sense of, like, Because most magic is if you don't succeed,
fight
most
her with
creatures
him.
know. Well, if you start fighting, this 6 becomes that's 6 rounds.
Yeah.
Like right now, these are things happening before you enter initiative, for better or for worse.
I don't know. I'd rather just go to the factory.
My
Yeah.
problem is like there are so many more people there. If we don't pass like a perfect stealth check, someone's gonna see us and raise the alarm.
Do a buff on our stealth.
Pass without a trace.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be invisibility, but
Let me look through. He's got some stuff he can give you. Whew, yeah. He's Gabriel. He can give enhanced abilities. That is one of the classic stuff. He can cast silence. There's the only word. Oh, but dang it. Some of these things are locked behind the paywall of it's not his true form. This is his vessel. Oh, gross. Ah, dang it. Okay. He could give each of you enhance a specific ability you want through enhance ability.
Would that be
That-
1 action or would that be 6 actions?
That would probably be 6 actions though. But it's again for this encounter and like the rest of the day. These are angelic, like here's your charisma at advantage for 24 hours.
Could he
Oh, it
give
just
somebody
makes it so
else
it's not-
the ability to cast pass without a trace for the rest of the day?
Can't give you
doesn't
guys
work with that,
spells. He does have though other stuff. Wyman could do that. He could try to hold
Does he
her
have
with a
major-
hold monster.
Does he have major illusion?
My staff also has hold monster when it's charged.
And that's he will let you know that is something that we are not allowed to charge.
but also like, if we get the sword piece, you can auto charge it.
It's true.
To that extent.
It's not like we have to wait long.
Yeah, not this safe. That's it.
Does he
I
have
feel
a
like
major?
again, the
Get
whole
there, we can actually just
But I feel like the whole point of what we heard earlier with even teleportation
He could
stuff,
get
like
down there.
it's hard to do magic down there because of the things
Because of
that-
everything going on.
Like I don't
If he
think
could
he can
at least
interfere in
get us,
that
like,
area at all.
closer, or as close as he can.
Or could he just go with us and just as something comes
That's kind of
up?
what I was wondering too.
He could go with, but then it would become that's how many rounds he stays.
How many rounds does he think it would
6
take to get there?
Oh.
In terms of eggs, it could take anywhere if I transport you from half a minute, maybe longer.
Does he have major illusion or alter self? Or alter,
Man,
what's that one spell that we
Racial
used to make us all look like something? We all look different. I don't remember what it was in a
it
previous
does have
game.
freedom of movement.
Not prestidigitation.
No.
This seraph does not deal with illusion magic though, or illusion powers, because he's a messenger.
Does
He's
he
more
have any sort of transformative powers?
yes.
Where he could transform us into anything?
Yeah.
Everybody just hides in my pockets and then he
Elizabeth.
buffs.
It's like he can transform you back to dragon.
That wouldn't be very helpful right
Would
now.
not be very. A big old dragon just kind of.
It would be a very large distraction.
It would give
Most of
the
his-
factory something else.
Most of the seraph abilities of shape change has to be in their normal form. And again, I'm not causing actions for him to explain. What can you do?
So I feel like we
Uh,
asked like 5 different things that he can't do, and it's coming to the point where it might be easier to know like
Yeah.
what are our options.
then my-
I will give you. He'll give you very specific. He is really good at all forms of detection: magic, evil, good, poison, disease, scrying. Like that's kind of the basic stuff. He can smite things, though those might be. I don't want to say locked. He might be forbidden from smiting people or things. Again, there's only so
Yeah.
much interaction for him to do in this moment. Because yeah, he has a lot of different flame strike, spirit guardians, guardian of faith, banishment, insects plague, like very classic seraph. He can cast one of his higher things, etherealness,
I was
but that
thinking
could only
about-
get one person. A idea of etherealness to just it's etherealness. You are in the ethereal plane basically, and can just kind of walk through. There's nothing there, and on your turns,
But you
are you
also
in the
can't
mortal
break
plane or the
anything
ethereal
with
plane?
us.
Basically, think of it like mirror world, but there's no one in the mirror world, so it's like, am I here or am I there?
How many actions would that cost?
It would only cost one. It is just a high level thing, but to keep doing it for people, like the more and more, that's costing more and more actions.
I was thinking if we could get one person to go get the sword or two
Wait, guys,
people to go get the
insect
sword.
plague. how big is that?
Ooh.
Could he cast that on the whole freaking factory?
Do you want him to upcast it?
Cause some mass pandemonium.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
Insect Plague has a range of 300 feet, with a 20-foot radius that he can upcast to start spreading through. I would say for a high enough upcast, it would cost 2 more actions, but he could do a full Insect Plague everywhere here.
You as a person.
I mean,
Me as a tomato does not like insects.
you just say in someone's pocket. But
Yeah.
I
I
would
can give
just...
you protection if you want.
I have an idea once you're done with your.
Oh, I was just saying that would really put a damper on production in general because people don't like creepy crawlies. They just don't. Even if you like bugs, being surrounded by
Plus,
that
it's
many,
attacking them for 4d10
That
damage. Or excuse me,
too.
he's upcasting it. Yikes. A total of 7d10 damage. Like, this isn't just insects; they are locust swarm. This is a biblical plague.
I've never cast it though. Does that go after allies too?
Around corners, each creature. So it could affect you guys as well.
So
but he could do it
use
and
an
then.
action to be like, but not these guys.
Yes, it would take a full action where he could then sorcerer like he has a way to careful spell it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, my thought is the ethereal spell, or not the ethereal, the one where it's like a different plane.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's ethereal.
Yeah, ethereal. Yeah.
Okay, what if we had a couple people with that to go get the sword, the rest of us get out
Would
during
y'all
the
be able to
plague?
take the sword with you with that spell? That's what I'm wondering.
Technically, yes. Like, I won't be mean, but it's like etherealness is objects you take, including magic objects, will go through.
Then it costs 2 actions for him to cast the insect plague high enough, 3 actions to do it careful, and then if he does 2 more actions for 2 people to ethereal go in and get the sword,
But he needs
still
to
has 1
ethereal
action
it
left.
twice. Because they have to pop out of the
Question.
ethereal.
Well,
grab
ethereal
it.
just ends.
But does he need one for each person or just one for the one person?
So, I'll pull it up. I'll explain.
Okay.
Etherealness says you're stepping into the border of the ethereal plane. During this time, up to 8 hours, you move in any direction, meaning you could just go down. You can see and hear everything in the plane you originate from, but it looks gray again, that mirror world. You can't see more than 60 feet away, but again, you kind of know where you're going. While on the ethereal plane, you can only affect creatures on the plane, but as an action... Wait, excuse me. Oh, no, you're right. It's not like the blink spell.
Sorry.
You ignore all objects in effect that aren't
Lewis.
in the ability plane until the spell ends, then you return to this spot on the plane you're occupying. So yeah,
you'd have to
you
do
could
it.
get to the sword with
But you
ethereal.
wouldn't be able to take it with
Or
Could-
if one person did it, he could do it, and
And
then
blink
they
back.
grab it, and then he could do it back.
And then, you know,
Then I would be more willing to do that because I feel like we're gonna have more of a chance for someone to get the sword that way, and then
Yeah.
everyone else get out if he does the plague.
And the nice thing is, as soon as you have the sword and he ethereals you, you have 8 hours to walk in a direction.
Right.
unless
and
something else goes ethereal, which is always a possibility.
But like they have to be in the plane in order to affect you, right?
Exactly.
So that means like, but can you choose to get out of that plane
Yeah.
at any moment?
Mhm.
Yes.
So I mean, if someone wants to do that, I feel like that would be our best choice.
So-
our best chance.
Probably. Follow-up question. For those that are going to get the sword, being that it's in a safe, I imagine that it's locked. So just considering who goes to
So
get it.
we either
could be
need someone who can break open the safe or break open the lock, like
Exactly,
pick the
yeah.
lock. So that would sound like
I got
you.
thieves' tools.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was my assumption.
Yeah.
Normally, I do not condone sin, but thievery would be acceptable at this time.
It's like killing a whole bunch of people to make sure that no one else dies.
No, that is simply justice.
I feel like this is too
Okay, so it sounds like we've got a plan.
Yeah.
So Tulio, you'll go.
What was his last action? Did we
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have
so-
one left. Right,
Can
because
he do anything?
I've yet to have him do anything, so it sounds like
3
2 for a big insect plague,
and then
Yeah.
1 for the careful spell,
1 for the careful, so you guys will not get bit.
which is not.
He's then going to cast an ethereal spell on Tulio, so Tulio, you can get to the sword, which leaves 2 left. Where then he could cast 1 to get Tulio out,
Yep, I would take
leaving
yes.
him with one thing left.
In which case, whatever you feel would be most useful.
Do we want to
I was just saying,
teleport us
can
to
he
here?
like hold an action
Oh.
for if something bad happens, like Fairy Godmother tries to bullshit, or she counter
Well-
spells the locusts or whatever, like a
I don't think-
reactionary?
Or teleport us all out with our stuff after.
Or once,
Oh,
if
yeah.
Tulio can
Yeah.
get in and out, it's that, and then I take you all.
advance us.
He will let you know, once I have started this, I can only stay in this form and simply wait. Once this power is used up, this form will burn.
Understood.
You do not understand. You will have to get away fast.
Okay.
This form will explode.
Sure, no, yeah,
Because
we
this
wanna
is
be
this
out.
is
We
not
wanna
just
be
like
away.
last time where he kind of had to bamf and baff out, which still kills those. He's using a ton of magic, smart stuff. That guy's Bardic. Haha, we gave ourselves a lot, but it is that like. So I'm gonna.
So I think
also
they
makes you feel
teleport
weird
away.
because the bugs
Where do
will
we want
make
to
people
teleport to?
leave.
Well, our camp is compromised.
Right. Well,
I
you
think-
want to be
I
far
say
away if it's
out.
gonna blow
I say we
out.
teleport into the
Far,
Dark
far away.
Forest, because that's
That was
where
back
the
in the
export
same
piece is.
Into the dark forest. I think
That was
that's
just my
smart.
vote, because that's where we
Yes.
have the next one
Yep.
piece is, so if we're in there.
To the dark forest.
Yes, teleport all of us.
He is going to breathe very slowly. Prepare yourselves. He is going to hold out a hand. His eyes blaze that marble white, and you hear crawling out of the furniture, walls, your own hair, seemingly at every point. Centipedes, locusts, beetles, wasps, spiders swarm everywhere, all over you. But you watch then as right before they can start biting, Gabriel holds out his second hand and twists it, and you all feel a 2-foot space of air around you, and it is a gross. It's like thick, heavy fog cloud around you, but no insects around you. Approach, thief. He puts a single thumb on your forehead, pushes you into the ethereal plane.
And because I have like Roguey Rogue bonus action dash and stuff, can I get there quick?
Here's what we're gonna do. At this point, I do need everyone to roll initiative because
Alright.
things could happen.
That is true. I feel like this is a good plan, though.
Yeah.
Again, you guys had done a lot of work. It was that like, yeah, you happen to get caught, but I'm like, it does work for your
Oh, it's
game
not that
because of your guys' party right now. Here we go. Did anyone get 20 or higher? Okay. Oh, and I should roll for Gabriel, just how his further actions will go out. All right. And all right. No one got 20 or higher. 15 to 20.
16.
16.
He's got
It was perfectly.
And it was a nat 13.
nat 13.
Plus 3 dice.
So you both got 13s
Plus one dex.
plus 1 dex.
Oh, I thought you got.
I rolled a 15.
Yeah, I got a nat 13 as well.
All right. So Hunk, you will go after. Which of you guys would like to go first?
I'll go. I'll just sprint.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Tulio.
Tulio, okay. Bob, and then Hunk. You will go 16. Bob Jr. will always act with you, Bob. Okay, 10 to 15s. And 9 and below. Elizabeth?
5.
Ooh.
I got 5 as well.
I got an 8.
Gabriel will go before you.
Okay.
Fun fact, I rolled a nat 1 for Gabriel, but he has insane stuff. Like,
Dang.
And what's your next? Vince 2 as well.
who wants to go first out of you two?
I rolled a 3. I really don't care. I can go last.
Yeah, no, you can go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Moses. Okay.
Stop it really well tonight, y'all.
Oh, I think we're good. My favorite dice is in my teaching grade.
Okay. Here we go. Divine intervention at a quite literal level.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this.
I was like, how are we
Tulio.
gonna do this? And then we got the full angel.
You watch in that kind of weird way his head kind of half twists into the airplane, work fast, and pushes you in as he just holds his hands, keeping a true biblical plague out. Dash, dash, bonus action, dash.
Yeah, I get 90 feet around.
90 feet going straight down. You just need one more round to get to the safe. Because again,
Nice.
90 feet down and it's just 90 feet across. Because you can go that diagonal. Again, if your plane's nice, you don't have any other stuff. As that happens, Tulio, we're going to cut through most of the initiative. As again, Bob, Hunk, Nana, Elizabeth, Moses. It is just waiting to see if things happen.
Like just right before we leave, I cast a spell on Moses and like hop in his pocket.
Yeah, you can.
Gifted boundaries.
That's so nice.
So you get 10 more feet of movement, and if you hit with a melee weapon, you roll an additional d4. That's awesome.
Gabriel will see you cast this. Just excellent. Keep the gift of my sister's well, Prophet.
Okay.
That's a lord.
That's a very specific magic you just used.
I'm expecting that the fairy godmother will come straight to us as soon as she knows something's going on.
Oh,
So-
she leaves the room. 2 seconds later, insects everywhere. Yeah, I wonder.
So the vodka presumably came in the glass bottle. Could I use that to listen to vodka just to,
Oh, I thought you were like just to do a Molotov or something.
Well, I was
Like,
curious,
with it.
but I do want to use, because if there's this many insects, our perception for hearing is going to be garbage.
Yeah.
Except if I have a glass bottle, then I might be able to put that through the wall and be able to hear a little bit easier.
I'll say, make me a perception check flat then.
Oh, okay.
Indeed, with insect plague, this is an upcast plague. It's a big one.
Ha! I rolled a nat 6, so it's a 9.
9. It's so hard to hear over the insects.
No, that's fair.
Mostly, also, what you're starting to hear is just scream of people running, being bitten, being attacked. It's just go.
Feel bad about these workers.
No, because this will force them out of the factory so that when he
Also,
blows up, they're out.
Also, workers come.
No, but seriously, they'll
Workers
be out of
come.
the factory.
Hey,
so
I got
they're
attacked by a
inside.
centipede up my nose and 2 wasps in my eye. Can I get paid?
Talk to HR.
Listen, HR. Well, HR sitting there with a tarantula down their throat. Like, come on, who am I supposed? As Nana, you make that check. At the end of the round, I will try something. Not high enough. Gabriel will falter for half a second. The fairy is trying to dispel my magic.
Yeah, I figured.
Because that was her immediate, like, can I just dispel magic on it? But she did not roll for it because she doesn't have spell slots high enough for what he did. Because, again, Seraph, Tulio, that's your turn. Your full movement will get you. You see that safe moving in and around through solid rock walls. As you appear, do you, at the end of your turn, want to end your turn outside this safe? Like, end etherealness now, or do you want to wait till next turn as that free action and then?
Can you go in the safe and then become a human?
I'm assuming the safe is just big enough for the sword piece and not big enough
Exactly.
for the person. I would like to wait until my next turn to drop it.
Okay. Bob, you've cast Ride the Valkyrie. You're in there with Bobby Jr., Hunk, Insect Swarming, Nana, Elizabeth, listening at the wall. Go ahead if you want to make another perception check flat.
Bob, do you want to give me help or anything?
I'll say Elizabeth could in this sense.
I actually rolled performance, so I did not mean to do that.
Just because
It's
Bob
a
was helping
12 this
Moses.
time.
A 12. So Elizabeth. Yeah. No, I think that, again, we're in initiative. It's that I'll help listen at the wall. Like, is anyone coming?
Six, so 12 is the higher one.
On a 12. You listen in. Again, doesn't sound like anything yet. At the end of the round,
I just want to ready my battle axe one.
it's a nat 1. Wow. Fairy Godmother's a high level caster, and yet she can't dispel this insect swarm.
Yay!
That was a nat 1. All is well. The thief is working quickly because Gabriel's watching you do it, just like eyes zoned in through the ethereal. He can't because again he's focusing on two. Because again he cannot do a lot right now. Now that we're into initiative, again, I will let you know he's basically just holding on.
Yep.
I just wanted to see.
Tulio, that's your turn.
So I will drop the realist.
have proficiency with thieves' tools, or is it like sleight of hand?
Tulio, that was a 73. I need to roll the wild magic table as there is reactive magic around you the second you drop out. Here we go.
Wild magic is wild. Anything could happen. Good or bad. Yep.
Here we go.
Get an extra action.
It could be the thing he rolled when Raya got the dragon orb, and I could just
That
grab
would
the
be
sword
nice.
piece.
That was
Oh,
ridiculous.
73.
I still can't believe that happened.
Like
No, I think it was like a 62 or something.
It's like it gives us Ramsey's sword piece.
I don't remember what he
Oh,
rolled, but
that'd
it
be
would have been
sweet.
great.
That'd be so awesome. Can you imagine?
This one works well. You are just poisoned.
Okay.
For
Yeah.
4 hours.
Oh, but am I taking damage from it yet? Or?
No, just you'll now have disadvantage on checks. That kind of
Oh,
poison.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's not.
Yep. Unless someone wants to point of inspiration, I'll re-roll. Just different wild magic.
Do I have
You got one?
I'll give her to her. Okay.
Yeah, I do not
Yeah.
have
All
disadvantage
right.
right now.
Let's see what that is.
Didn't realize the poison did that.
Yeah, that's why poison.
Tulio, I'm gonna roll a d10 real quick. You were 20.
Yeah?
You're now 13.
Oh god!
As you just aged 7 years younger, as you feel your body boom, warp through time. Oh,
That's so
hey
cute.
guys, I got the sword.
How are
Tulio,
you?
that's your turn. That happens the second you're in contact with the arrow around this case. Because again, this is an artifact that's been churning out magic every couple of like seconds.
So what am I rolling?
You need to make a sleight of hand to break into the safe.
I hope we don't make laughing as soon as he
Gabriel doesn't laugh at that because he is again beads of sweat, and you realize
Okay.
dirty 20
I get expertise.
DC exactly. You sent the right
Yes!
person. Click, 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 click. You're realizing, okay, hitting through the pins on the safe lock, and now nope, there's a false tumble. Get around. Opening up, glowing that almost red hot. Again, imagine trying to use a magic item over. The sword shard stands before you.
Do I have an object interaction?
Yep.
Can I like put a cloth or something over my hand and grab the sword so I'm not like touching it with my bare hand?
Yes.
And I just want to grab the sword
Okay.
and then just be waited to get
You
bounced back
wait.
to everyone else.
Here we go.
Because that was the plan, right? Like I'll
Yep.
just get bounced back.
You have it. Here's what he's gonna do. You said Dark Forest, right?
Yes.
Tulia, end of your turn. Bob, Hunk, you will hear Gabriel. The thief has the sword. Prepare yourselves and cover your eyes. As on Gabriel's turn, right before the fairy godmother storms into the room, you didn't hear her because she was about to start casting all the spells. Gabriel on his turn is going to start by holding out his hand for you all, not you, Tulio, yet, and teleport you all off to the Dark Forest. Tulio, you don't see something, but I'm going to do a behind the scenes as the fairy godmother runs in and just sees Gabriel, because he's staying behind just to get you out. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Tulio, seconds pass. You're waiting. Stretches into eternity. Gabriel appears next to you
Oh, no.
in blinding light. Now I have to be very honest. Can you make me just? It's more of a luck check, even though it is con based. Of would you have seen him appear?
Would it be perception?
It's still con because again, it's more dealing with the body.
Okay, well that's an 11.
11, you're still fine. Again, I'm like, it really was kind of a flip. Thankfully, whatever was about to appear, you had enough frame of mind to move your head. As Gabriel appears next to you, she tried to banish me away. Give me the sword shard. I will deliver it to heaven.
Can I insight that? Because I don't think the real Gabriel would ask me for the sword shard.
Yeah.
Because
Go ahead and give me an insight check.
that's a bad insight. Can I just go with my gut?
It's your choice.
It's a 6 insight.
Just tell them that.
I can't give you a point of inspiration.
I can give you a point of inspiration.
You guys are in the dark forest. Tulio, I can deliver it safely to heaven when I explode after putting you with your friends.
I thought we were gathering.
Exactly. But we cannot trust this to land in the hands of any other mortals.
Put me in the dark forest first, and we'll get to
There's gonna be a persuasion.
Oh gosh. Oh. That's a natural 18 plus persuasion plus 5, so 23.
23?
Yes.
That's not bad at all. Alright. He gets very close. You're realizing what Hunk thought was sweat, lines of fire are dripping off of this vessel's brow. Should this sword shard fall into the hands of the enemy, I will personally smite you from the earth.
Okay.
He grabs you by the shirt collar, not in anger, but you feel that poof, Tulio, you land in the middle of the dark forest.
With us?
Tulio is radiating heat and steam. All of you instinctively take a step back. Tulio, I'm about to make one last wild magic roll. Oh.
What is that noise for? He sound like.
Well, it was the same one as last time.
What?
You're 6.
I think I'm poisoned again.
No. Same one as in I have to roll a d10.
Give me back to me or something, and I'm my age again?
That was a 4. It's even. You are now 17.
They could be worse.
Could be worse. That's what I'm like, that's
There's
interesting.
17 isn't bad.
You're at
The magical radioactive whiplash pushed you 13
passed
and
for
tried to
21.
balance out as you got away.
What are the odds that he rolled that twice?
What are the odds? Like,
It's like
well, to
John
be fair,
Smith.
I rolled. It was a 35 the first time. I just rolled a 36, and those are technically the same. And so is that like that's just wild stuff of like, all right,
Sorry, it was just like, A, obviously we wanted the sword piece to like do stuff for our party, and B, Tulio was completely convinced like even if it
I
was
got
for the
it.
Gabriel, if I give it to him, then I get left here. Like
Yeah.
Tulio has no faith.
I thought it was like the fairy godmother.
I thought so too.
At first I thought it was the
Yeah.
fairy godmother until he described like the fire trail.
Yeah.
Oh well, then it obviously
it's
was.
hard to fake that.
Yeah, but up until that point,
As you all sit here,
Good job.
I like
breathing
that
hard,
even if it is Gabriel, I
Tulio,
wanna get
I
left
think
here.
you do vomit at least a little bit. Again, you didn't realize how boiling hot and everything it was. Those hazmat suits would have helped. You are all sitting here in the dark forest, pitch black around you, not the person, the physical attribute. Off in the distance, you hear some natural flora and fauna, but I am now marking down
And then we were.
that the sword of far, far away is in the hands of your party.
Guys, we got it. With the help of an angel. This is the second time that we've had to have an angel step in.
You know, but honestly, that fairy godmother is really scary.
Yes.
Like, she's kind of freaky.
She's very freaky. Here's
She
the
was so creepy.
key,
So,
guys.
Gabriel exploded.
Yeah, and because this like wasn't what I realized the plan was, I'm going to explain to the party he actually wanted to take this back with him.
Oh.
So like just so everyone's on the same
I wish
page.
she had
You just
told
have to
us that
really carefully hold
before.
on to it.
Yeah.
That would have been handy.
Yeah, if you had told us before, I feel like we would have trusted that, you know.
Yeah, it was the fact that like I didn't know that was the plan that wigged me
Yeah,
out.
it felt like it was kind of implied that we were gonna keep it
Yeah.
and keep collecting them.
So now we have to figure out where in the dark forest is whatever it is.
Well, also, can we try and like recharge his staff now that we have
Yeah.
the battery?
Do you want
Sword
to?
piece?
Actually, can we do a perception check first? Like,
Oh,
make
yeah,
sure
once
that
we're
we're
in
in a
this.
safe
Yeah.
area.
Make me a group perception check. I think that is a smart, and everyone
after
but
we got
Tulio
gas.
can have advantage because again, Tulio, you were waiting to show
We
up.
have
Everyone else,
advantage, you say?
yes,
So then I'm flat, right?
yeah.
Ooh, I got a dirty 20.
Here's perception.
That is a 13.
13,
No, 14.
14. Anna,
18.
18,
22.
22,
12.
12?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20?
17.
17.
Nice, baby.
The dark forest seems not abandoned, but void of life initially. In the distance, there are things cawing and screaming in the darkness of this hour. You think that indeed you were out for some time. It is probably the evening of that day. But that there is no immediate danger, I should say, around you.
So should we try to
Should we
Truly.
recharge your stuff first?
Do you want to try recharging the stuff?
Yeah.
Well,
Because also, like, don't we all have some magic items? Like, I've got a dagger, he's got stuff.
Here we go. This is a artifact, Tulio. You realize in your hand, it is starting to hurt. If you keep holding this object anymore, you're going to start taking fire damage. It's still that hot.
I'm gonna not say anything, I'm just gonna hand it to Moses.
That's hilarious.
Moses, you take 1 point of fire damage as this thing is burning through the cloth. It is still so charged. Use your
So, maybe we should get this thing else?
I now need to
first let's try
roll
recharge our stuff.
real quick. Okay, that was good. So 20 inches though. And then, okay. Without explaining too much of what this item can do, there's a certain amount of charges that it can output.
Most important is the staff.
Easy enough without attuning, or not attuning, but checking it out. 1 through 5. What's the vibe here?
Didn't it have infinite charges in the machine?
Or if he has like a list of things
Well,
that-
unlimited charges while it was constantly being fed magic and outputting, right?
So who has magical items?
Everyone has something.
I think
but
everyone
he has
does.
the most important thing.
You've got the staff.
How many
I have
charges?
2 different magical items.
I just have one.
I just have one.
You have a ring.
Is the Bayard a magical item, August?
The Bayard is, but fun fact, it never lost its magic.
Is that the only one that you have here? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Is that something right?
Yes,
Six.
I will say before we get too excited, it's possible. It's like
Got other abilities.
no, well that too. I was gonna say like 1 charge per thing. Like because Moses' staff can do a bunch of things, so it might be like 1 charge for each charge that his staff has. Like maybe you can't recharge the whole thing in one go.
Bob, do
Yeah.
you have detect magic or identify or anything?
I might.
I think I do.
You can just have magic, right?
Yeah, but I think we'd want to specifically identify it to be useful for
Yeah,
this.
my staff can hold 20 charges.
And that's the thing is, charges can mean very different things, right? 20 charges versus what the item has.
Yeah, my staff would probably
So you
be
don't have
a
to
much
use
lesser
You have to take
magic
it.
item.
You have to take
than-
And then I have
magic.
one spell slot left.
Do you mind casting detect magic on this?
August, can I cast detect magic?
Oh, Hunk, are you ready to take radiant damage? I'm kidding. But it is the equivalency of this sword shard is pulsating energy. It is a. We're calling it radiant because there's just so much magic charged into it. Hunk, you are getting elemental, abjuration, conjuration, evocation, elemental, war magics, illusionary magics,
Are there any
necrotic,
magics
radiant.
that are not natural to this world?
That's a
Because we
different
know
question.
that Hunk came from a different world.
Mhm.
So does Hunk recognize any magic coming from this that is not here in Dremor?
That is
Because
something
Hunk would
that
be able to know.
none of you can answer.
Hunk would be able to know.
Nope. I have a very specific type of magic like that none of you can answer that question. That's not even a roll. That's a I have something that
No,
will.
that's fine. That's just.
I don't want to say
very-
unlock. That sounds very video game-ish, but
Yeah.
like there is something much
Yeah.
different in the world there.
Very interesting.
Hunk, this thing has a lot of different magic, and it's you can output either 1 through 5 amount of charges.
My vote is we put 1 charge in Moses' staff and see what happens. Again, start with the smallest setting, see what reaction we get.
Yeah.
1 charge.
Yeah, I like touch the sword shard to the staff.
You put in one charge, you feel the energy drain. Nothing changes with your staff.
So it didn't actually charge it?
Nope.
Not with
apparently
one.
Can we try with a different magic item because they're not profit stats and see if it's just because his is like
His
special?
needs 5 charges or something.
Like, can
Could
we see
be.
if it affects a lower level magic item?
Yeah.
I've got a couple, you've got one, you've got one.
What are your magic
items? So I've got a Thorn of Absorption.
The ion stone of absorption.
And a Fingering of Wonders power by Connie Scott. Those are busted. And then you've got, what's your ring?
August, can you remind me what my ring is?
Yeah.
It should be in your equipment.
He put it in.
Oh, he did? Okay.
He did for me, which is very nice.
Because
It
I
was
was
very nice.
I would have known. They came from my
I didn't because I was keeping it sneaky because it was off. Yeah. Some things because I didn't want to like tell you exactly.
Okay.
No, that's
So
fair
it
because
is
I was
in
also
there.
looking.
I
I'm like,
looked before.
yeah, I should have put it in. I'm like, it's not. Why not? Right. I remember this.
I looked before, so.
Mm-hmm. Bob, you have a ring of feather falling.
Oh, fun.
That is handy as it's made of.
Yeah.
Yeah, because black.
It's very much that level of while you're falling it, you
Yeah,
will
feather
always
fall.
be feather fall, right? You just kind of always
Yeah.
go.
That was very VeggieTales noise.
It is a rare magic item. How many charges would you like to put into it?
Well, do we want to do that, or do we want to do a different item?
That's true.
I mean, I have a +3 magic dagger that I would love to be able to use,
Yeah.
but I also don't want to like be the person who's like, nah, it's my charge when like
I
we
feel like
have a limited
damage-wise,
number.
so that's important. Mine
Yeah.
are more of like absorbing and then I have a top.
I just have
Yeah.
a ring of evasion.
So why don't we start with the dagger because then that's gonna be more helpful to us as a party.
Okay.
And my magic is rich.
This is a +3 dagger.
That's a nice weapon.
That's a nice gold one.
I like that boulder. You put in the +3 dagger. I have to check something on that. Okay. How many charges are you putting in?
I was gonna pick one.
You put one charge into your dagger. Nothing changes.
I say we
Is
put the
anything
last
changing
3 into
about
the
The
staff.
shard while we're doing this?
Charge seems less red hot. Like eventually, you know, it will cool off once it's just not overloaded with power, right? These 15 charges do not seem to be feeling great on it.
Yeah.
So my guess is it probably has to be like the level of the item, and it's all or nothing. You can't like do it in stages. So
You want
who's
to try and dump the rest into the staff?
What level of item is
You
your
can
staff?
only dump up to 5. Like that's easy enough. Again, I'm not gonna. It's either 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
I've
Let's
only
try
got
putting-
3 left.
You've done 2 so far. 1 and 2, so you got 13 left.
So for your magic items, are they like what's their status in terms of like rarity?
Rare, rare. The ion stone of absorption.
This is very rare.
Very rare.
Requires it to be
Very rare for a +3 dagger.
Do we think the charges are like common, uncommon, rare? Like that scale? That would be my next theory to try.
What level is your staff? Legendary or
What is
artifact?
that? I believe it's
Artifact.
artifact.
Crap, so we probably just don't have enough charges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless we tried 5.
But we only have 3 left.
Yeah.
No,
No,
we have
no.
13.
You have 13.
Oh, for some reason
I
thought
kept saying 13.
I kept hearing
Yeah.
5 for some
Yeah,
reason.
I did too.
because you kept
I think
saying
we
1 to
repeated it.
5. I think you
1
said
to
you-
5,
That's
but
why I got
13.
5 at a
confused.
time.
Okay.
Okay.
So we had
Sorry,
15,
that
but we
was.
can only go up to 5 at a time.
So
So
I'd
we
say
tried
put in
putting
5.
Is that what the scale would be from common up to?
Possibly.
Well, let's
So
count.
it's common,
So common, uncommon, rare, very rare, and then is it
legendary.
I
Is it a
look
jump
it
to
up.
legendary?
August, are they right? Are you gonna tell us?
Yes, that is right, because artifact is above all.
Okay, so that
So
would be
then
5.
do we? Well, 5 would be legendary, but he has an artifact.
Now, here's the thing. Are you looking at a DM who is one of the, I'll say this nicely, nerds who thinks that rare versus very rare counts as a difference? Or is that a difference because artifacts are different than legendary in that sense? Do
I
I...
don't even understand the question.
I feel like you were the.
Am I using a 1 to 5 or am I using a 1 to 6 scale?
I would say
Let's put 5 in the
artifact
staff
is
and see what
different.
happens.
Okay, yep.
After
put
4
6.
pumps in, your staff will immediately hum to life.
Okay, so we did a total of 5, so the first one wasn't wasted. So
Okay.
let's put in 2 more.
I think
Is
it-
2
yours?
more is what it is.
Is the staff fully charged with all 20?
Staff is fully charged.
Oh
It
my
just
gosh.
wasn't
A
magical.
busted scale.
You're putting in how many charges?
Is it 1 or
Let's
2
check
more?
that. I think it would be 2 or 3, so let's go 2. Because we only put 1 in and it's a plus 3, so it's probably 2 more.
Yours is a very rare, so
Wait, I thought yours was rare. Was it
no,
very
hers
rare?
is very
But
rare.
I think the consensus was he's counting rare and rare.
It's
Oh,
the
that's
key is
true.
does very rare count as rare or legendary
Okay,
or
yeah.
its own separate
So
categories?
2 more, and then we can add another. I think it's 2
You add in 2 more, nothing changes.
more.
Interesting.
So you've added 3 so far to your dagger. It seems pretty normal. Do you want to do one more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more.
One more. You now have a +3 dagger.
Interesting.
go.
So
You have used 9 charges. You have 6 remaining,
Okay.
and you have rare, 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 and let me check which figurine you're looking at here because
I have an onyx dog one that is rare, and then my ion stone is very rare.
right, I swapped the 2. So you have 6 charges left.
I'm so confused about the scale.
That could give you maybe 2 rare objects left, or a very rare object plus some charges.
I forget what you have.
Just
Do we
ring
know-
of evasion.
So,
I
Pharaoh
feel-
was able to use his shard for specific things. If we don't charge things, can the stone do magical stuff itself?
things besides charge.
What I will say is that
Like
I would
taking
rather
that-
bleed it dry in case it gets taken from us. I want to be as not useful as possible, at least initially.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So I would rather put it into our magical
Because
items.
also I'm thinking if
Also,
we
I'm
figure
gonna do
out-
another perception check. We've been here for a while, and I'm getting nervous.
It's because the music changed.
yes.
Go for it.
Thank you.
My vote would be the figurine because those are like good, would help the whole party if it's then activated.
Okay.
That was almost a nat 20. No, it's only a 17.
Are we all making
So,
perception checks?
yeah.
I might as well.
Perception. You're good.
14.
Everything seems pretty quiet in the night.
18.
I got a 6.
Same.
Crap.
Everything is very quiet. So that's the goal.
Wait, we heard
it
things
too
initially.
quiet?
Is the sound all gone?
Before something
On
bad
a 17,
happens,
you
we
don't know.
activate Hannah's
What about on an
figurine.
18?
Nothing. On an 18, you hear nothing. Honk, looking around, everything seems very quiet, normal in the night. You can put. How many charges would you like to start putting in the figurine?
Would it be all the rest of them? Was that how the math worked out?
There's 6 charges left.
Oh,
So
it was it 4?
yeah, it's rare.
You put in 4 charges, and the onyx dog is now working again.
Look up what the onyx dog does, because it might be a good guard dog and be like, idiots, there's something.
It can become a mastiff up to 6 hours, intelligence of 8, can speak common, dark vision. It can't, once used though, it can't be used for another 7 days.
So we could
Up to you, it's your dog.
I feel like if we get attacked, we can have it activated.
And there's 2 charges left. They probably aren't enough though to put into anything left, unless you want to try something.
What would happen if we put more insert objects?
From what?
It might fizzle it out.
Oh, you mean put extra charges in the I don't think that they can hold more, is the thing.
I'm down
My
to just
staff
hold
is
it.
already all maxed out.
I'm down to hold it until we get a big encounter and then just wave the thing at somebody. But that's
Could
just.
I do a survival check instead of a perception?
Hang on.
Not when you're going against a creature that got a 24 stealth.
Frick!
As
Oh, are we done with? Dang it! I had a really cool question.
Moses, you hear, "Good job, buddy!" Stepping out of the pitch black is pitch black.
Oh no.
Ooh, I wondered what alerted my senses. But it seems that you've done the job for me. Now let's talk about that shard as shadows swirl around, starting to coalesce. We're going to end tonight's session here.
Yeah.
Thank you all so very much for playing. I will see you all next time.
That's my bad for
Bye-bye.
suggesting it.